Getting a degree become a coal miner nowadays? Well, have you considered that doesn't matter because college is bourgeois decadence. College is actually getting a college degree makes you a petit bourgeois. So, have you considered that? Checkmate liberals. See if I can find one tweet about the discourse. I accidentally refreshed my Twitter timelines. Now I don't see it anymore. Um, Academia only becomes a problem when people in academia become paternalistic towards people without degrees. That's not even the point that they were making, though, which is kind of funny. It was literally just like you should drop out. You should drop out of college to like become a UPS driver. That's the best that you can do for the revolution. I was just like, you can become a UPS driver after going to college too. Like, it's just a weird thing where it's like it feels like a weirder, more like I don't know, more esoteric version of like you're a Marxist, but you're like playing video games. Why are you not doing the revolution right now? You know what I mean? It kind of feels a little bit like that. Cause it's like you could also like strive for education for like or to get an education for self-fulfillment purposes. You know what I mean? You could just want to learn more about a specific topic. Like that's fine. I don't understand like the issue with that. You know, not everything that you do has to like directly be tied to like the revolution. You can sometimes do other stuff as well, right? It's also here. I have to show you the tweet before I keep talking about it. Where's it at? Here, I found the Twitter poster, but I haven't found the actual tweet. Here, uh, here. This is the tweet. This person said, just discovered my Marxist professor has a side hustle as a landlord.
Are you okay?
It's a funny tweet. But then this person said he's a professor. He's already petit bourgeois without tenants. And then he said, we don't need more or better Marxist professors. We need a Marxist organized proletariat. Drop out of college and go move boxes for UPS or come last shipping containers at the port. And then it was just like, he got dunked on a lot by this. Oh, yeah, it was 1.3 million views. And this got 1.2 million views. And it sparked a whole amount of discourse. To where he then replied this. 1 million bots? No, he's just getting drugged on Twitter. So there's people just yelling about it. I believe the 1 point whatever million views or whatever. Then he says, not gonna lie, if y'all are mad that I said drop out, that's cool, but the communist should not be workers' lines that I'm seeing feels like they're pouring right out of another dimension. I don't think something y'all think that. And this person said, I didn't see folks saying communists should not be workers. You got clowned on and now you're trying to save face by creating a straw man. Did anyone say that? Not really. He doesn't think that like being in academia or like being a professor or even a teacher is means that you're a worker. right? Like he called like he said that the only proletarian teachers are primary school teachers. Hold on, see if I can find it. I don't think convincing more people to drop out of college is a great idea. This ain't it. Um, hold on, wait, not this one. Did he delete that tweet? Maybe it was a reply to this tweet. There's so many replies. Too many replies. Where's the teacher tweet? Hold on. Oh, I can't spell. Primary. Here, this is the tweet. This post, because this post is gone. He said the modern intelligentsia is mostly petit bourgeois, aside from primary school teachers, which are the upper strata of the proletariat. He's like, well, that and secondary school workers who do not violate these rules, like grad student workers and adjuncts. Like, they do know that like primary school teachers are like elementary school, right? That's like fifth grade and below. So what about like junior high and middle school teachers? You know, what about high school teachers? Like, are they not? Like, I think that like he's specifically saying that like tenured professors are like not technically part of like the working class and are technically petit bourgeois. But like I don't know based on like what metrics, right? I think maybe it's because that he has this idea that like they make money, so therefore they can't be a part of the proletariat. And so, but that falls into the same thing. Like, it's not about the amount of money you make; it's about your relation to your labor, right? It's about how you make the money you do. But like, I guess tenure professors don't fall into that. But like, it is kind of weird to call primary school teachers the upper strata of the proletariat. Like, that doesn't really make much sense to me. You know, it doesn't make sense to me personally. Like this is my take. I don't think you should drop out of school. I think you should finish your degree if you're getting your degree, right? Because even then it's a bad option for most people, right? Unless you are literally starting school in like fall of 2026, like unless you're doing that, like it's just not a bad option. You would have started a degree, potentially incurring debt for basically nothing, right? If you're in school, finish school. You know what I mean? I forgot which book he misunderstood to come to this conclusion. I think it's more just like having a like a disdain for like academia. I think it stems from having a disdain for academia. Right, I think I saw one of his other posts saying that he was like a dock worker, right? I think he just doesn't like academia. He feels as though academia, it's a reactionary view inherently, right? He views academia as like as worthless and as useless. And so this is like no different than like a conservative being like, college is a scam, brother. Drop out of college. You know what I mean? You know, Mark Zuckerberg dropped out of college. You don't need that college thing, bro. It's like that from like the communist perspective, right? Like it's just weird because it also doesn't make sense because like Marx is not like easy to digest. You know what I mean? Like theory is also Marx was an academic. So it's just like what if you don't like professors or whatever, that's one thing, but like college does help give you the tools to help parse theory in a way that makes it applicable to modern times. That's kind of the point of like Marx's like study of thought, you know? And I would like it if everybody had the opportunity to go to college to get those tools. Right? And the idea that we should just like nobody should just go to college is just I think it's very silly. Like it's very silly. It's just like, no, only real Marxists drop out of college and work at UPS because that's where the working class is. You need to do that to be working class, right? But like, I also don't see like how it's any different than just saying like this person should just delete Twitter, right? What are you doing wasting your time at on Twitter when you can just spend all of your time you know talking to workers. Like you are allowed to do things for your personal fulfillment that does not inherently lead directly to the revolution, right? Like it's kind of like self-care is resistance kind of thing. Like you are no use to like the revolution if you are like, you know what I mean? If you don't like take rest, if you don't find a reason to keep going in this system that we live in, you know? And so if you find fulfillment in going to college and learning about microbiology and that's, fun for you and that's fulfilling for you, right? You can do that and, right, be useful for this wider movement. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's just a little bit of the discourse that's happening on Twitter. I think it's pretty hilarious. Can you imagine this person's opinion on art? It's a good question. Like, why are you doing art? Why are you, as a Marxist, doing art? You should be organizing workers. You must wake up, organize workers, sleep, and that is it. And that is all, right? Because the reason behind the topic of discussion is like, it's them saying you right, you should join key industries where if you can shut it down, like the revolution would happen, I guess. I live as a capitalist. Okay. And it's like,
Too high to reply, just subscribed.
It comes with the assumption that you would be able to like increase class consciousness by speaking to these workers, right? But you can't do that if you don't have the tools to parse theory in a way that's digestible for people, right? So even if you drop out of your first year of your literary studies degree or whatever, and you join UPS, who's to say that you are actually able to or qualified to actually regurgitate like Marxist thought to these workers in a way that's effective, right? You could learn those tools in college that could help you do that thing that you want to do anyway. So I had to reply. Thank you for the 6 months. Much appreciated. It's a less dumb, but it's still a dumb version of Kyle's leftist to join Ice Take. It's weird to say like I'm learning so much that's tied to my Marxist theory and socialist views because of being in college at the moment of at the moment for communications. You also shouldn't need that. You know what I mean? You should be able to be like, unless you're literally like, I'm going to go to college to like, become a drone operator at Lockheed Martin or whatever, like, which is like a different thing than the actual college degree itself. But like, you should be able to say, I want to do this thing for my own personal fulfillment. And I think that I find it enjoyable and I want to do that, Have you seen this? What is this? Oh, I did see this. This was like a few weeks ago, right? They're calling Chris Moss like a fake organizer or something. I do remember seeing this. I don't really want to cover it though, but I did see it. I'm like a celebrity activist. Do you think people said that about Martin Luther King at the time? Just like not making the analogy, but like just curious. Do you think people are like, man, MLK is a celebrity activist. Malcolm X, celebrity activist. Fred Hampton, celebrity activist. People hate Chris Moss. Why? Because he's black. Anyway, I wanted to show you guys the discourse so y'all can see it. I thought it was funny. I didn't want to talk about Nina Lynn getting banned on Twitch, apparently. Perma banned on Twitch because of this. That's loud. Jeez Louise. Nina Lynn got arrested in New York City for riding on top of an Amazon delivery vehicle.
Yo, it's dummy lit. Oh, we on top of a fucking Amazon car. Stop playing. We on an Amazon car, ho. We on an Amazon car. Yeah.
This is so New York. This is insanely New York, bro.
Yeah. We outside. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit, now he going. Now he really going. Holy shit, he really going. Oh shit. The black one? Say that. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, bro.
When did she get arrested?
Come on. Don't worry, they're not gonna arrest.
Where?
What up, bro? Hold on.
Wait. You got it now. Nina, let me help you get down there. I got you, baby.
Ew. This video is insanely New York. I don't think the cops should have manhandled her like that though. To be fair, like, I think it was unnecessary. Is it wrong to think that I think she'd be seen harder in private? No, I think that's the case as well. But they damn near slammed her on the door. I don't think that was necessary. But like, this is also stupid. A stupid thing to do. I don't know what she expected though, to be entirely fair. Right? Look at his in the replies. He still has me blocked. LOL. He still has me blocked. But yeah, so apparently after this happened, after she was arrested, she was permanently banned on Twitch from this. But apparently Nina says that this is not true and she'll return. But we'll see. You know, welcome to Kick. I don't think Kick wants her, to be fair. Sexual Assault didn't get her permabanned? No. Sexual Assault did not get her permabanned at all. So Maj, you can pin Ahmed's link. I don't know if I can do it on the chat right now. I think she's permabanned. I saw a screenshot. Hold on. Oh, yeah, it was on the this. I would kick Warner. Has she ever defended Hasan? No, it's just because like she's beef with Asmongold specifically. Her man for this, but Lakari can come back. Yes, but she was also stealing. What? This is in May of this year.
After checking my, they immediately, after checking my receipt, and it's like, you missed this. We have a video. Mind you, they show me the fucking video. They show me the fucking video, the alleged video that they're talking about. You know when you turn everything around and you show the barcode, and you lay it out, like you're in a rush, but you're in the rush. I'm gonna just put you in my thoughts, put you in my shoes real quick. You're in a rush, so you lay everything out.
Computer.
Everything flipped back or flip underneath. Is it on the side or the back or in the side, right? Side, under, or on the back? I show every barcode. I'm going boop, 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 boop with the fucking gun. I'm like beep, beep, beep with the fucking red barcode scanning thing. Boop, 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 boop. Buddy, I missed one. I literally by accident went like this, and I went boop boop boop, and I looked at a screen to check something, and I went boop boop boop. Oh my god, oh my god, yo, no bullshit, like no bullshit, like I have never been wronged in that way. I was like, are you seeing what I'm? Officer, are you seeing what I'm saying?
That was a YouTube.
And he's like, it was an honest mistake, but the guy wants you in the precinct. I'm like, what? Who's the guy? He goes, the guy in the store. I'm like, the guy in the store want me in the precinct? He's like, yeah, normally these cases we just bring you back and you just scan those items. But the guy wants you in the precinct. I'm like, that's how I know that guy watched Osama Gold, bitch. That's how I know.
What?
That's how I know you're a weirdo ass motherfucker. I was like, what? What? Like, if you knew it was an honest mistake,
I'm a gold.
then you would just on the way out been like, hey ma'am, like you forgot this. Can you do this? Or hey ma'am, can you? You know what I mean? I would have bought all the scissors on the shelf. No cap. I would have just like fuck you. I would have took all the scissors off the shelf and buy every single one of that shit. I would be loaded with scissors for the next 20,000 fucking years, bro. On some real shit.
So yeah. So the Asmongold, the radical Asmongolds do not like her. So I'm not surprised that if Kick wouldn't take her, you know. But there was also this where she admitted to shoplifting.
Oh no, he's wilding. I'm telling you, bro. Even if it was the stakes, bro. Yo, bro. Ain't nobody missing no fucking money, bitch. Calm the fuck down. No target is not losing no type of fucking money from some stakes, bitch. Right? Ass fucking bum ass steaks. I don't give a shit. Man, if I put this on Twitter too. Your mom's a bitch, you's a bitch, and happy holidays, all you hoes is bitches. Go ahead, put that on Twitter. I bet you won't. I bet you won't. Just put that on Twitter. I bet you won't. Yeah.
Also, okay, did y'all see Track Ukraine, which is Progressive Victory's like version of like Track APAC, endorsed Espaillat? Who? If none of those words make sense to you, don't worry about it. Ugh. They're nothing but being copycats. Didn't I tell y'all about Progressive Victory though? Didn't I tell y'all about Progressive Victory? I think I told y'all about Progressive Victory. You know what I mean? Well, what they did and how they be doing. But I was the crazy one for saying that they weren't leftists. Right. Also, I think that hot take maybe. I think that Track Ukraine is a little bit silly because like that's just like most of the Democratic Party. Like, it's the reason why Track APAC has the effect that it has is because like most people support APAC, right? And you're tracking the people who support APAC, so the voters make an informed decision about that. But if you're just like tracking Ukraine is basically just tracking the Democratic Party line. You know what I mean? And so it feels weird, like a weird way to frame that. Because it's basically like, I don't know. I don't know a good analogy. Track Islamist is one is gnarly. That one's a very new one. People were asking where is Progressive Victory's dark money coming from? Well, who hates Ukraine? Definitely any damn would randomly go support Russia. Exactly, right? Exactly. I think it's just a silly way to frame it because like Ukraine does have support from like at the very least the Democratic establishment, right? But I think it is interesting coming from an organization that didn't talk about like Palestine for 3 years because Destiny was and Brianna Wu were on their like leadership team. Just a roundabout way to support APAC candidates. Check Ukraine is Dylan Burns' weird side project and the first candidate who afterwards Hearts So Great. I think I remember that. Yeah, that's why Progressive Victory was like, oh, well, we're not going to endorse anybody who track Ukraine does not say it's good. Also, Dylan Burns is a loser, which we know. I think we talked about that earlier. Anyway, that's Nina Lynn. Yada yada yada. Nina Lynn does Nina Lynn stuff. What is my title? Oh, did I have a link to Hasan on the Breakfast Club? Stepping to Dylan Burns, man. I mean, I think he always sucked, right? He's kind of like Xander Hall a little bit, which is like, you know, always sucked. It feels like 2022, where he like did like war tourism. Oh yeah, okay. Somebody at an event that I was at actually brought this up to me. I have not seen it. I have not seen Dean getting dragged from not knowing Abu Ghraib. Please send it to me. I haven't dunked on Dean enough recently. Dylan Burns, the guy from Wisecrack? No, that's Michael Burns. Michael's cool. I don't have a clip, but I've seen responses. Ugh, now I have to find it. Gosh darn it. Dean Withers, Abu Ghraib. Wow, it actually came up pretty quickly. Where's the actual video at, though? I just see people being like, this guy is Dean Withers. Like, cool. Show me the video. All I see is response videos. Bro, where is it at? Now I'm starting to question if this actually happened. Come on, somebody has to have. Somebody has to have a video of it. They can't all be response videos. Was it during like Graham Platter coverage? Hold on. Dean Withers. Graham Platter. Get will into existence. There are response videos because it was probably on a TikTok live. Yeah, but people record his TikTok lives though. That's the thing. I'm trying to find it. I can't even find like a clip about it, like at all. This is weird. Hold on. Okay. Scrubbed from the internet. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Live. Maybe I'm saying this just because I'm jealous of how many live views he gets. Look, 46,000 views 1 day ago from this guy. 1 hour ago, 17 hours ago. Bro, TikTok is literally just like, Dean Withers doesn't know about Abu Ghraib. Of course Dean Withers doesn't know about Abu Ghraib. Dean Withers, Abu Ghraib, who really knows about that? Like, just show me the video. Oh my goodness graciousness. Please. Wait. Hold on. I think I found it. Hold on. Okay, I think I found it. Here, I'll just show you what I found.
So,
It's still a React video, but it's actually here.
listen, meeting won a
There have been
think you won a debate. Yeah, there is that. But moving right along.
So, as you said, you were not familiar with Abu Ghraib. It was a concentration camp in Iraq. In the past, there have been
Wait, Sophie, February 6th. Hold on. Sophie, February 6th. I think it's what people are referring to.
So, as you said, you were not familiar with Abu Ghraib. It was a concentration camp in Iraq, and it ran from the 1950s to 2014. And during that time, I think 5 or 6 Democrats have been elected, and they, from my knowledge, did not do anything to shut it down. There were atrocities happening there. Women were assaulted, and just people were beat and tortured. There's a lot of books on that if you'd like to read. I actually really recommend it. But my point is that I do think that there are some candidates in the Democratic Party that would absolutely be a lesser evil. But like I said, in the past, there have been Democrats and Republicans both.
Hold on. I have the date this is on. It's June 7th here.
Have both been really imperialistic and just ignorant to what's happening in other countries as a result to American imperialism. And it's a subject that I really care about deeply because my family has personally been affected by it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think that you're really ever going to be like an effective political interlocutor in the American political system, even if we don't have a two-party system with your mindset. Because you just said, well, the Democrats didn't like shut down some concentration camp in Iraq. Okay.
So, as you said, you were not familiar with...
Thanks, Dean. All right, let's go a day before this. Here, let's go this day. I think this is the same day. Let's go. This is this day. Okay. I think. Which means he might have talked about it. I'm going through his lot. I need to find it. This is imperative. No, not this one. I played again while I was
Abu Ghraib. It was a concentration camp in Iraq, and it ran from the 1950s to 2014. And during that time, I think 5 or 6 Democrats have been elected, and they, from my knowledge, did not do anything to shut it down. There were atrocities happening there. Women were assaulted, and just people were beat and tortured. There's a lot of books on that if you'd like to read. I actually really recommend it. But my point is that I do think that there are some candidates in the Democratic Party that would absolutely be a lesser evil. But like I said, in the past, there have been Democrats and Republicans both who have both been really imperialistic and just ignorant to what's happening in other countries as a result to American imperialism. And it's a subject that I really care about deeply because
Why is like 5 people on this call? I think this is the day. I can't find it. Hold on.
my family has personally been affected by it.
But I should show you this video then.
So, you can't make this up. I see once again you all's favorite blonde hair, white, golden child, pseudo intellectual, liberal, democratic, political commentator, whatever, is taking heat once again for not knowing something. In this case, he didn't know what Abu Ghraib is or was, that thousands of people were tortured at prior to the Americans coming to Iraq, and then turning it into their own torture prison after liberating Iraq, or so that's the story. But yeah, I'm not surprised that Dean Withers doesn't know any of that, because some of the people trying to explain it don't know what Abu Ghraib is or happened at the facility in its entirety either. But I digress, because you all are the same people who think, what's in my beard? What's this in my beard? Anyway, you all are the same people that think sitting in the middle of a circle and debating with MAGA supporters is an intellectual flex. That's not an intellectual flex to sit in the center of some MAGA supporters and think you won a debate. Yeah, there is that. But moving
Okay, I think that he just didn't post this. I have to come to the conclusion that I just think that he didn't post this specific video, which means we don't have the actual main video that we're discussing here. I want to stuck on Dean so bad though. And the fact that nobody did a good quick screenshot.
And when you think about Dean Withers and Abu Ghraib, don't forget that ignorance doesn't let you off the hook, and it's oftentimes a tool of oppression. As a college instructor in philosophy, I often teach about the concept
Fake Marxist. Fake Marxist. College instructor.
of ignorance. And this is something that comes up for philosopher Charles Mills and his concept of the epistemology of ignorance. This concept outlines the way that ignorance isn't just something where you lack knowledge, you just didn't know. It's actually a situation where society is created in a way where you're not supposed to know. So a lot of the times people say, well, how was I supposed to know? I didn't know this, so I shouldn't be held responsible for this. But Mills is trying to say there's another level to that, because it's not just that you didn't know, it's that you live in a society that doesn't want you to know. The people in power do not want you to know, and that's why you did not come across this knowledge in the first place. And Mills is talking about the issue of racism. He says a lot of white people are not taught about and do not come across information about inequality and the actual experience that Black people face in America. And he's right in the sense that the education system oftentimes is white coded, so it's not teaching that kind of knowledge to people. And I think we can apply this concept here to Abu Ghraib, where yes, there are people who may really not know about Abu Ghraib. And why is that? Because something like Abu Ghraib threatens the narrative that the US is doing foreign intervention for moral reasons. And so if people knew about Abu Ghraib and they really knew about how horrific Abu Ghraib was, people would start to see the United States as not this benevolent force in the world, but as the empire that it really is, that causes violence all over the world. And if people knew this and they understood this, that would be a huge problem for the people in power who make money through these foreign interventionary wars, through the military-industrial complex. And the appropriate response to the embarrassment or upset feeling that you might be experiencing because you didn't know about something is not to get stuck in that feeling, but to actually seek out knowledge about the issue. What Mills's concept of the epistemology of ignorance shows us is that there are lots of forms of ignorance that we need to be aware of, because society and the powers that be want us to not become aware of them in the first place. And so if you are seeing this discourse and you realize, wow, this is not something I knew a lot about, the next really good step to take is to go seek out more knowledge about this. Information is more accessible than it's ever been before because of Google and the internet. And so if you are realizing that you don't know enough about this, I would encourage you to try to overcome some of these epistemologies of ignorance and actively seek out knowledge about it. And when you think about Dean Withers and Abu Ghraib, don't forget that ignorance doesn't let you off the hook, and it's often
Hold on. Okay, I found a mention of it.
Violating human rights. And that was like in response, I could like tell that you're not a serious political interlocutor here. You're million people to die. They joined the live stream yesterday.
Flakes did you piss in?
Well, some leftists like joined the live stream yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay. That's information.
And they were like talking about how they hold to the principle that like voting is bad unless who they're voting for is perfect, right?
What?
Like they wouldn't take Kamala Harris over Trump. And then I kind of like went through and I described to them why it's like you should still vote for Harris over Trump, because although the Dems aren't perfect, there are still a lot of ways in which they're significantly better than the Republicans. Went through access to abortion, economic policy, even foreign policy through like USAID and the cuts that are going to cause 14 million people to die. And then she brought up a concentration camp that was operated in Iraq under Dems that were like, killing people, mutilating, violating human rights. And that was like in response, I could like tell that you're not a serious political interlocutor here, right? Because if you're going to say that, well, the Democrats were engaging in this like one immorality, therefore you're never going to vote for the Democrats.
This one immorality, bro. You know that Nazi Germany engaged in one immorality, chat? Yeah, when they did the Holocaust, it was just one immorality. This is why you should vote for the Führer again. Is this what, like, this is your mind on debate? This is your brain on debate. This is your brain on debate. Your brain on debate is you have to defend your position, right? This is your brain on debate. Also, I can't find it in the stream that happened the day before, so I think he's lying about that. Gosh darn it. This is 437. I looked at 436. It's not there.
Sean the Black says, she's my African princess.
Yinza_Mark just subscribed. Thanks for keeping me grounded, Sean and community.
Yinzer Mark, thank you for the 20 months. Sorry, wait, what was I talking about? 437, 430. 436. Let me check 435. Maybe it's because Google's or not Google's Twitch search is just bad. Twitch, sorry, YouTube. YouTube search is just bad. Leftist.
I was about to go get that.
And I was looking for the 10 gifted subs. Much appreciated. Oh, where's it at? Okay, maybe he cut it out, chat. Maybe he cut it out. Cause I can't find it. The VOD. No, I have the VOD. He said it was the day before this, which is the 7th of June. And I looked on the 7th of June VOD and it's not here. I mean, by all means, feel free to go check it out yourself. And see if you can find it. But like, I checked the timestamp and everything. Right? All I know is that this is the original video. He's wearing this shirt.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think that you're really ever going to be like an effective political interlocutor in.
And like none of the words he's saying here show up in the VOD.
The American political system, even if we don't have a two-party system with your mindset, because you just said, well, the Democrats didn't like shut down some concentration camp in Iraq. Okay.
Like, anyway, I can't find it. It's been 84 years. I can't find it. But we know that it exists. Here, I'll play this one more time.
So, as you said, you were not familiar with Abu Ghraib. It was a concentration camp in Iraq, and it ran from the 1950s to 2014. And during that time, I think 5 or 6 Democrats have been elected, and they, from my knowledge, did not do anything to shut it down. There were atrocities happening there. Women were assaulted, and just people were beat and tortured. There's a lot of books on that if you'd like to read. I actually really recommend it. But my point is that I do think that there are some candidates in the Democratic Party that would absolutely be a lesser evil. But like I said, in the past, there have been Democrats and Republicans both who have both been really imperialistic and just ignorant to what's happening in other countries as a result to American imperialism. And it's a subject that I really care about deeply because my family has personally been affected by it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think that you're really ever going to be like an effective political interlocutor in the American political system, even if we don't have a two-party system with your mindset, because you just said, well, the Democrats didn't like shut down some concentration camp in Iraq. Okay.
So, as you said, you were not familiar with Abu Ghraib. It was a concentration camp in Iraq, and it ran from the 1950s to 2014. And during that time, I think 5 or 6 Democrats have been elected, and they, from my knowledge, did not do anything to shut it down. There were atrocities happening there. Women were assaulted, and just people were beat and tortured. There's a lot of books on that if you'd like to read. I actually really recommend it. But my point is that I do think that there are some candidates in the Democratic Party that would absolutely be a lesser evil. But like I said, in the past, there have been Democrats and Republicans both who have both been really imperialistic and just ignorant to what's happening in other countries as a result to American imperialism. And it's a subject that I really care about deeply because my family has personally been affected by it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think that you're really ever going to be like an effective political interlocutor in the American political system, even if we don't have a two-party system with your mindset. Because you just said, well, the Democrats didn't like shut down some concentration camp in Iraq. Okay.
So, as you said, you were not familiar with Abu Ghraib. It was a concentration camp in Iraq, and it ran from the 1950s to 2014. And during that time, I think 5 or 6 Democrats have been elected, and they, from my knowledge, did not do anything to shut it down. There were atrocities happening there. Women were assaulted, and just people were beat and tortured. There's a lot of books on that if you'd like to read. I actually really recommend it. But my point is that I do think that there are some candidates in the Democratic Party that would absolutely be a lesser evil. But like I said, in the past, there have been Democrats and Republicans both who have both been really imperialistic and just ignorant to what's happening in other countries as a result to American imperialism. And it's a subject that I really care about deeply because my family has personally been affected by it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think that you're really ever going to be like an effective political interlocutor in the American political system, even if we don't have a two-party system with your mindset. Because you just said, well, the Democrats didn't like shut down some concentration camp in Iraq. Okay.
So, as you said, you were not familiar with Abu Ghraib. It was a concentration camp in Iraq, and it ran from the 1950s to 2014. And during that time, I think 5 or 6 Democrats have been elected, and they, from my knowledge, did not do anything to shut it down. There were atrocities happening there. Women were assaulted, and just people were beat and tortured. There's a lot of books on that if you'd like to read. I actually really recommend it. But my point is that I do think that there are some candidates in the Democratic Party that would absolutely be a lesser evil. But like I said, in the past, there have been Democrats and Republicans both who have both been really imperialistic and just ignorant to what's happening in other countries as a result to American imperialism. And it's a subject that I really care about deeply because my family has personally been affected by it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think that you're really ever going to be like an effective political interlocutor in the American political system, even if we don't have a two-party system with your mindset. Because you just said, well, the Democrats didn't like shut down some concentration camp in Iraq. Okay.
So, as you said, you were not familiar with Abu Ghraib. It was a concentration camp in Iraq, and it ran from the 1950s to 2014. And during that time, I think 5 or 6 Democrats have been elected, and they, from my knowledge, did not do anything to shut it down. There were atrocities happening there. Women were assaulted, and just people were beat and tortured. There's a lot of books on that if you'd like to read. I actually really recommend it. But my point is that
President Trump hoped to turn the Lincoln Memorial's reflecting pool what he called the American flag blue. That's the color he wanted for the water, but right now it's green as heck. The more than $14 million renovation was completed just over a week ago, and yesterday crews of parks workers were spotted dumping gallons of hydrogen peroxide in there to try to get rid of the growth. One worker tells CNN it will take, quote, an entire lifetime to fix, but this issue is not new. CNN's Betsy Klein joining me now. Betsy, this is certainly not the color they wanted. There is already criticism about spending this kind of money on this particular project. What are you learning?
Well, Sarah, it's been just over a week since that $13 million renovation project to drain, repair, paint, and refill the 6.5 million gallon Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool was completed. But almost immediately, a major problem came to the surface. That is algae, the pool growing increasingly murky and green by the day. And CNN even took an independent sample of this water last week. We consulted with a pool store. It showed that phosphate levels were far higher than what's recommended.
Sorry, I was figuring out my apartment situation. Anyway, can't find it. Can't find the Dean Withers thing. Not important. Moving on. Mods, ban that chatter for getting my hopes up that I get the dunk on Dean. Gosh darn it, close the tab that I wanted to keep open. It's fine. I don't need it. Flash Gordon, thank you for the Prime. I'm looking for what's my title? Title says oh, Hasan Breakfast Club. Does anybody have that? If I can't find this video too, I'm gonna end stream, bro. Oh, yeah. It's 9 minutes.
What do you think about?
There's somebody ripped the Breakfast Club on us off Netflix. Or they're on Netflix now. Unsupported format with MIME type found. There's nothing here. This doesn't show up. This doesn't work. The audio version of it as well. Why are they on Netflix? Money. As a whole segment in this audio. I can't play it, chatter. It won't let me play it. It says unsupported format. Full YouTube audio timestamped.
Believe that, you know, we need to have social.
Work for me only on Chrome though. I don't know if I can technically show it. Here. If I do this, hold on, give me a second. Bow. I'm a genius. Hold on, give me a second. There we go. All right. Oh, what's the timestamp? $34.27. Okay. Hold.
Plans. It was funny when he said it. I don't know. Yeah. All right, more topics.
I don't even want to hear Ron Taylor now because of you.
Go watch.
I was looking forward.
Go watch
to
him
hearing
on
from Ron
Solid.
Taylor. I wanted to meet Ron Taylor. Now I don't even want to hear nothing from Ron
It
Taylor.
was actually really funny
because of what you just said. That's why I don't like when people retell people jokes.
No, I wasn't good at it, but it was funny.
That was so crazy. But people that do those extreme sports.
All right.
Oh yeah, nah, I do jet skis. I do
bungee, no, not bungee jumping, zip line, but that's
you light skin though.
I don't even like roller coasters. I hate roller coasters.
I don't like paying people to scare me. You know the last thing I did that was extreme? Go see Obsession. Cause I don't pay people to scare me. And the fact that I went to go see a horror movie just because I wanted to see what Curry Barker had did with $1 million. And like
oh,
it's stuff that
I'm too early. It's an hour and 14 minutes.
I wanted to go see the movie production.
Oh, did y'all see the drama with Obsession, where finally the director, Curry weighed in, and he was like, "Listen, I think the cast does." The drama is that there was an indie horror film called Obsession that dropped by a YouTuber who was the director. The film was on was it like $1 million budget or was it a $750,000 budget? It wasn't a large budget. It was a small budget. Right? It was a small budget indie film. It made $300 million. I'm pretty sure. Like 300 times what the film made. And there were people who worked on the film who got paid I think it was like $3,000, something like that. $9,000. This contract better be scaling. They're not. And so they came out. We'll start with that before we go to this. Let's see. Crew.
An Obsession crew member is blasting the movie for its low salaries, but Matt Damon and Ben Affleck have already come up with a solution. And could Oscars and sequels be in the cards for Obsession? Let's get into all of it. In the last 2 months, we got new Spielberg, new Star Wars, and new Toy Story to a nearly $350,000 movie of 2026. And that's because it went from a $750,000 budgeted indie film to a nearly $300 million blockbuster, defying the odds with 4 consecutive weekends that were bigger than its opening weekend. But not everyone is cheering for Obsession's success. The movie's art director, Sally Choi, took to Instagram in early June to talk about the low pay that she was given on the film. She said she was paid $300 a day as art director, which came out to $6,741.36 after taxes. Obsession was not a union set, and Choi says she considered flipping the production to unionize the crew, but she was encouraged not to by others and listen to their advice. Choi put up her post to showcase that even though the movie is making a lot of money, many of the crew members were paid very little. And there's not much that Choi can do about this other than complain, because her contract did not include any profit sharing on the film's success. She admits in her post that she willingly agreed to the $300 daily rate. Some people are praising her for speaking out, while others are saying that she's burning bridges and maybe even made herself a pariah in the industry. And sadly, what Choi is lamenting...
Does Kellen has a video on it? Kellen has a video on it? I mean, I'm not covering the full topic of discussion today. The point is that Curry Barker responded, and he said, essentially, the crew deserves recognition, but the people who took financial risk deserve the financial reward from it, basically. Here. I have nothing but respect for the art department. The work they did was extraordinary. Everyone on the film worked so hard and deserves to be recognized. The movie was made for so little money that it's typical that the only people who directly benefit from its financial success are the people who took some sort of risk. But what I hope is that every person that worked really hard on this film will see opportunities to catapult their careers in new ways that can be very financially fruitful to them, like what happened for me. Like, honestly, it's kind of gross. Not even kind of, it's really gross. Like, do you think that like these people who worked on this film also didn't take a financial risk by working on a low paying, right, almost no paying film that they also believed in? Right? Like Markiplier did this. Like Markiplier talked about doing this for Iron Lung. It's directly analogous. Here. I don't have a timestamp though. Oh wait, here it is. I can just play this.
If you're comfortable speaking about this, I had heard that you had a unique profit sharing model with the cast and crew. Explain that a little
not
more?
unique. I'm just giving them a bonus. But and what sucks is like that's apparently rare. That's unique. So I took their salary that I paid them for the production days, and I said like I'm gonna apply that again as a bonus. And so just like whatever your salary was, it's now doubled. And so that bonus, given that personnel and payroll costs are probably the most expensive thing that you have on set, that's a huge thing. And then the actors get paid and give them bonuses, and then the editing team, I've given bonuses to everybody basically. And then whatever's left over is mine, goes back to me. As you can see, the number goes ding, 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 ding. Even though I'm making a good deal of money out of it, it really has to be recognized that it's like I'm so happy to be able to give the crew a win, you know, a reward
Like,
for their
nobody is asking, right? That like if you paid a crew member 1% of the total budget, you should pay them 1% of all the money that they make. You know what I mean? That's not even like what most people are asking of this. You feel me? But you have to realize that the production would not have even existed in the first place without the people whose labor are put into this like production in the first place, right? They took a risk joining your production because they believed in your vision. It was a small indie film, right? And their work led to the success, including Curry's work as well. You know what I mean? Like it did. And so like, unless you have this idea that like, oh, well, I'm super special as the director and only my work mattered, I can see how you come to the perspective of like, no, actually, they don't deserve to get paid more for the fact that the work actually turned out well, right? And like corporate also understands as well, which is why like in corporate settings, you get bonuses when your company does well, right? Your company performs like 20% better than it did last year, right? You get a bonus. It's not just, oh, you get paid in exposure. Oh, I'm paying you in exposure, don't worry. Hopefully you can use this and the success of all the money you made me so you can make more money for other people. And you can get lowballed there. Like, it's $300 million, right? You lose absolutely nothing. Like, let's say there's like a 2,000 person crew. You lose absolutely nothing taking like one of that $3 million that it made, right? Subtracting the budget. Here, we'll do a little bit of math. A little bit of math. You made $3 million. You subtract the $750,000 that costs for the budget of the film, right? So this is the money you made in profit. Let's just say you take 1 million of those dollars for yourself. Oh, sorry, not 300. $300 million. You're right. My bad. I missed a couple of zeros. $300 million. See, I'm not used to seeing that many zeros. You subtract the $750,000. Yeah, $750,000. Whoops, that's not right. There, boom. That's $298,500,000. Can't even hold it. Yeah, calculator was like, that's too much numbers for me. Too much math. Right? You just take your own, take your own 5 million. Sure. Just pocket 5 million. Why not? Take it. Just take it. Right? You know what? Take another 5 million. Why not? Take 10 million for you. Only 40 people worked on it. Was it only 40 people? I don't believe that. Hold on. Crew size of obsession. $43 core members. That's craziness. Right? You know what? Take $200 million. Why not? Just take that. You're a director. You deserve it, right? That's $88 million left. You know what? Take another $50 million on top of that. That's $38 million left. Divide this by the 40 members. They each get $1 million, basically. Divided by 43, they each get $800,000. And you still win $250,000. Sorry, $250 million. You still get $250 million. What at that point, what is losing $4 million? What is losing $4 million? When you've made $250 million. What is $4 million to you in that regard? You can make the lives of people who believed in your film. You can literally make their lives, right? There is a good chance that if they work every year of their life, they don't make this much money. But other people in Hollywood would kill you for trying to pay like that. Not even really. Right? But that's what you get to do on an indie film, right? Right? That's what it means to like care about your staff. It would boost the director's reputation, his PR, and more people will want to work with you. Yeah. Right? But even if you don't want to do this, even if you don't want to give up the 40 million, the 40 million that it would take for you to do this, or even if you don't want to do that, is that 300 million before, after prod distribution cuts, principle still stands, but wouldn't it be a smaller portion of that? I took away the budget. The budget was $750,000, right? The budget includes marketing costs. It includes labor costs. It includes advertising costs. It includes a set design. It includes everything that costs to make the film. That's what is included in a film's budget, right? This is why Marvel movies have budgets of like bajillions of dollars, because they have actors to pay, and they have marketing to do, and all that's included in the budget. The budget was $750,000, right? You take that away, you still have 285. The 285. Wait, it's 280,500, right? No, it's a lot of money. 285,000,000. No, that's not right. Actually, it's 3 million. Hold on, 3 million minus 750,000. Did I miss a zero? It's this. I don't know how I got to 290 or 285. Like maybe I added an extra zero or something. It's this. You put 7.5 million last time? Oh, so I was even highballing it for them. Human brains cannot comprehend. He sold the film rights. He doesn't see the profits Blumhouse did. I don't know if that's necessarily true. Right, now that he saw the film rights, but like how much of that money does he receive? Right? I'm not saying he gets all of the 300 million. It is he sold at the festival. I'm not saying it's true or not, whether or not he sold the film rights or not. I'm saying that I don't think movie budgets generally include marketing. It does. Depends on the movie. I don't know if an indie film would consider marketing, but like Disney does include marketing in their budgets. Right? When you talk about calculations about like how much money they need to make at a box office to break even, they do include marketing in that budget. I don't know if they did it for Obsession specifically. They get 17 million to Jason Blum for the executive producer. Why would you not include marketing? Again, if it's the indie film, it'll be the same thing as like a food truck not including like labor costs in their budgetary concern. It would be dumb, but like they could do that as like accounting tricks. Blumhouse did give people in the crew extra money after, I think still was pennies compared to the total. It was only some, I think. The art director, like the director of the art, didn't get any. Who they give it to? The actors. Also, I think the lead, the main lead, the actress, didn't get any anything. I think she got paid like how much did she give it? It wasn't $20,000, was it? I saw a number like $20,000. Yeah, I think it was $20,000 is what she made. Yeah, $20,000 a hugely grossing film, inflaming the debate further. How long did it take to make the film? I don't know, actually. You can do the math. If it's $6,000 a day per $300 a day after taxes, I don't know, add taxes in there. I don't freaking know. Do the math. Anyway, the point is that you have to invest in the crew, which is also why you should unionize. That's also the answer. You should unionize. You should always unionize. Never let anybody tell you not to unionize. You should always unionize. Unions protect you for things like this. This is the job of unions, are to protect you from things like this, right? They will draft a contract where it's their job to look into the future, right? And be like, okay, well, we expect and presume, right, that this is going to happen. Or even if this doesn't happen, if it does happen, we're guaranteed. Like we're safe from this, right? That's what you do. Like you always unionize. Right? At the worst case scenario, nothing changes. Best case scenario, you make a lot more money. And be more like Markiplier. Anyway, it's not the point of the conversation. I was talking about the Breakfast Club. Where's it at? Here.
Hasan Piker will be joining us. He's a political commentator. If you watch Twitch, he's heavy on social media. We're going to talk to him next. So don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
I was saying, like, the walk up is crazy. It's like is this like a spirit tunnel situation? Like, are there going to be producers waiting out there clapping as I? No. I can't do that. I'm too stiff for that sort of thing.
What's up, my brother? How are you, man? Looking to you. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Also, I just want to point out. Do you know who said Hasan should go on the Breakfast Club like 6 months ago? I did say that. I said like 6 months ago, Hasan should go on the Breakfast Club because he needs to go to more black spaces.
But no, I don't think I have enough.
I mean, this happened. I do have it in with Charlemagne.
That's three. Yeah, that's three.
So chat said otherwise.
I'm with it.
Remember you saying that? Because I did say that.
Okay.
It is the thing that I said.
Hi, Hasan. Nice to meet you.
What's up, DJ Envy? How you doing?
Nice to
Pleasure
meet
meet
you.
You right here, brother.
Hasan.
Oh, they're jerseys?
Volume up, please. No, it's gonna go up in a second.
There's a running short. I mean, but these are small. Like, I mean,
He brought them DSA merchandise. That's kind of funny.
and then a tank top. What? I just
Boom in the bag.
okay. You ready?
I am ready. As soon as everybody else is ready. You good? Here we go. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, just hilarious. Charlemagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRose is here as well. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes, indeed.
That's not how University win. I'm telling you, if I show up to class one day and they're like, "Hey, welcome to Black Politics and Studies. We have a special guest, Hasan Piker," I'm walking out of the class. If I show up to class one day and they're like, "We have a special guest for like American politics, Hasan Piker," I'm walking out. You're not gonna see me. I'm gonna walk out. I'm gonna say what's up to March before I leave. I'm gonna wave at the camera and then I'm dipping. I'm gone. I'll take my absence. First day of class, stop. Can't wait for someone to ask him about the geese article. Hey, did y'all see the geese article, by the way?
Piker, welcome.
It's good to be here.
How are you, man?
How you feeling?
I'm a little tired. I've been traveling quite a bit, even though they've stopped me from traveling
not
to
to the
certain
UK.
places,
Yeah.
not to the UK. But yeah, I've been in New York for the week. I just did a DSA slate rally for all the New York City candidates last night.
What's that, Democratic Socialists of America?
Yeah. I brought you guys merch from them. I don't know if you want it. I mean, but
I don't like to label myself anything, but if I did label
yeah.
myself something, it would be a Democratic Socialist.
Really?
Yes, because I believe in capitalism, but I also believe that, we need to
That doesn't make you a democratic socialist. But whatever, sure.
have social programs in
That
place.
you're a social democrat. It's just fine. It's fine. He doesn't know. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, swap the words, brother. Like, just democratic socialist, social democrat.
to take care of the least fortunate amongst us.
Okay, so you're like a social democrat. That's what it
Yes.
would be like. Okay,
So so it's not the same thing. Democratic socialism and social democrats are different.
there are definitely some.
Listen, last time Hasan was on a podcast with a sock dem, it did not go well. Tread carefully. The last time Hasan was on a podcast with a sock dem, it did not go well. Last time he had this conversation with somebody, it turned out very poorly. And it was the exact same conversation too. It was last time. Just think about it. Just think about it.
Some social democrats in DSA as well, but they would be to the right of DSA. So they're the DSA right.
Okay.
For the most part. Yeah. I mean, it's
Well, without
all
the
of this
directions,
stuff,
just tell me what.
all of this stuff was considered radical to the average American politician. It's not so radical to the average American person, right? Because if you ask like regular folk, like, do you want free healthcare? They'd be like, yeah, that makes so much sense. If you were like, hey, should we stop bombing random countries and instead, I don't know, spend money on building schools here? Everyone would be like, yeah, no, that's a great idea. But in Washington, D.C., that's a radical concept. They're like, whoa, what are you talking about?
Well, for people that don't know who Hasan is, let's break down who he is. So you break down to people who've never heard of you, who's first time listening, first time watching you, who Hasan Piker is.
Yeah, I'm a Turkish American political commentator. I grew up in Turkey my whole life, but I'm an American citizen. I was born here.
New
I was
Jersey,
born
right?
here
Born and raised
in
in
New
Jersey?
Jersey.
What
Well,
part?
not raised in New Jersey, but born in New Jersey. Went back to Turkey. Grew up in Turkey, and then came back for college. I went to University of Miami for a year, and then graduated from Rutgers. And I started working for my uncle because just like every other 2013 graduate at the time, it was impossible to get a job. So I was doing a free internship, and then basically that turned into a very underpaid job. Yeah, that was the uncle nephew special for me.
Tell him who your uncle is.
Oh, it's Cenk Uygur, the Young Turks. Yeah, you know him.
That's my guy.
Yeah, that's how we made that connection to begin with. But yeah, so I started working there. I was doing ad sales initially, but I graduated with political science and comms double major, dual degree. I'm probably one of the only people that actually puts both of those degrees to use. It's usually one of those things where you have those degrees and then you never end up using it. But I was fortunate enough. And I'm a political commentator. I broadcast live on Twitch every day, 7 days a week, 8 hours a day usually. I travel the world, and I work with political organizers and unions and politicians and candidates to try to move American politics further to the left, hopefully.
You also play some sports too, though, right?
I play basketball.
Yeah.
I play basketball, but not like nothing at the organized level.
Gotcha.
I'm not very good.
You look athletic as well.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice of you to say.
Switch channel.
Well, hold on before you do that.
Why you say it like you don't believe it?
I don't know. I mean, thank you.
It's
I don't
your
know.
build.
Yeah,
It's
you build.
like
You
a-
look stocky like in
yeah.
football. But you also said that you were banned from some countries. For people that don't know, explain why you were
From the
banned. Why you
UK.
said that?
Yeah. So recently, well, I have. Back in the day, I used to have like ops as like other Twitch streamers, content creators, drama, and now it's turned into governments. And obviously, the number one government op
I do
that I
love
have.
that Hasan dropped that he had ops on the Breakfast Club.
Probably is real. They're not too fond of me. And then the American government is also apparently, allegedly.
He goes switch. No, he does drop ops outside of these contexts, but he gets so used to it. Now he's dropping ops in these contexts as well. You know what I mean? He was doing it as a meme and as a bit, like months prior. Now as a part of his
investigating me
vernacular.
for doing a humanitarian aid mission to Cuba that I went on with the journalist visa as well. There's supposedly some subpoena that Fox News says I received. I never actually received the subpoena. And then now the UK has banned me and my uncle from traveling.
Just because of your criticism.
Blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
focusing on the UK, right? Because they said that you were bound on you were blocked from going on the grounds that your presence in the UK may not be conducive to the public good.
Yeah. That's what they said. And it's a very opaque structure where they just kind of make this decision and they don't even have to defend it. Now, obviously, the UK doesn't have the same expansive First Amendment protections that we have. They have, hate speech statutes and whatnot. Having said that, this is definitely
And by hate speech
escalating.
statutes poorly about Israel, they'll throw you in jail. And I'm to toss you in prison because of our free speech laws. And those have not yet fully gone away. They're on the way out though, but they haven't fully gone away. But in the UK, like, yeah, you say free Palestine, they throw you in jail. They say I support Palestine action, they will throw you in jail for supporting like a terrorist movement or whatever. Right? We're not yet at the state. If you say I support the DSA, they'll throw you in jail. Almost, we're getting there, but not yet. I guess I just got to say Meanie Beanie IRL, as you should. As you should. Meanie Beanie is a good word. Brighton woman acquitted on charges of persistent emails to cause annoyance to Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, and local MP about the Israel's conduct in Gaza. That's crazy. Sorry, you sent me too many emails to jail with you. To jail with you. You sent me too many emails.
And that it became a much larger issue both in the UK and internationally, as a matter of fact, because like in the past, they had stopped Kanye West from traveling to the UK. And also Valentina Gomez, who's another American rabble rouser. I mean, she was saying unbelievably hateful things, and also, you know, some far right Polish ministers and numerous other people that were trying to go and participate in a race riot that Tommy Robinson was putting together. So this is the first time where the British government has decided to ban travel for objectively left people who obviously have not engaged in any sort of like bigoted or hateful speech. They try to present it as hate speech, but it's just Israel commentary.
So it's just you being critical of Bibi Netanyahu and the Israeli government.
Mm-hmm. And not just that. I mean, I talk about the ideology behind Zionism. As a racist ideology as well. I think that's probably very frustrating for a lot of people to hear. But
could you explain that? Because I've seen you say that you're not anti-Semitic.
Yeah,
but you're anti-Zionist. I don't know the difference. I don't know what either. I don't know what.
So Zionism is like this intentionally.
I do think that there is a usefulness in. No, I think there's Charlamagne is stupid, right? But there is a usefulness in him doing this, Chad. Right? Him doing this is useful because it lets Hasan explain what the difference actually is, right? He's like, I don't know the difference. Like as a lay person, as a normie person, like I don't know the difference. I don't know what the difference is. Can you explain what the difference is for people who may not know? Right? I think that is useful in allowing Hasan to actually, you know, state his positions.
Concept, and at its inception, it is a political movement, a political ideology that sought a homeland for Jewish people. Sought a homeland for Jewish people well, they were testing out different places. Argentina was one of them as well. There were different parts of Africa that they were also seeking out. And then they landed on what is now known as Israel, landed on historic Palestine. And it was a settler colonial enterprise, and at its inception, it's pretty open about it as well. You know, there's the formative thinkers, Jabotinsky and Theodore Herzl, very openly declared that this was a colonialist endeavor. And that's how they got a lot of support from other colonialist endeavors at the time as well, other colonialist powers, you know, the Balfour Declaration with the British Kingdom and the like. And it's the ideology is basically the easiest to define by the statement that they define it by, you know, developing Israel for a land without people, for a people without land. Now, of course, the problem is there were people on that land. There were Palestinians on that land, right? And therefore, it turned into this expansionist, endless conquest. And initially, a lot of Jews were very critical of it. There's a theological criticism of it as well. There's some Jews, like the Neturei Karta or some of the more fundamentalist Jewish sects that oppose the nation state of Israel's development.
One of the better recent interviews, since he's at least contentious, he's actually allowed to talk. Yeah, like he's actually speaking uninterrupted, right? And so, and I think this is actually a perfect example of like why going to Black spaces and talking to Black people is important, because like there's this idea that like Black people are like stuck in their ways and are like radically liberal and are unable to change. But like Hasan got the most, you know, most airtime speaking on The Breakfast Club of any interview that I've seen of him recently. Hasan going on like The Bulwark is another example of like, you know, somebody who is automatically contentious trying to you know, interrupt him and be like, well, but aren't you anti-Semitic though? Just say you're anti-Semitic. Or like the what was the place? It was like what was it called? It was an LGR. The LBR? LBC. Ha ha ha. I knew it was an L something. LBC. On LBC, like that was a contentious interview as well. It was like, Hasan, why are you anti-Semitic? You know? That's a little bit different than like letting Hasan actually explain what his positions actually are, you know?
They find that to be wrong from a religious perspective. Then there's also obviously a lot of anti-Zionist Jews as well who oppose it on the grounds that this is a fascist ideology and a settler colonial movement that is unbelievably destructive for all of the non-Jewish population in the region, for the Palestinians, for the Arabs, the Christians, the Muslims alike. That's the same principle that I hold as well. That's why I say I'm an anti-Zionist. And of course, I'm not anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitism is a heinous, bigoted ideology that.
And I've heard you say that all the time.
Yeah.
Never heard the black community being thought of black as liberal though. Black community has been pretty
Because
conservative.
there's no real argument against
stuff is based in, like civil rights and that means something.
anti-Zionism, so
The black community is not conservative in the U.S. traditionally. That is a falsehood. Like, by and large, white people are way more reactionary and conservative than black people are as a generality. But you don't think of a white community, right? You don't think about like white people as a monolith. You feel me? That's why I say like black people are not allowed to express the wide range of the political landscape. Black people are only stuck in this one specific bubble of you need to exist in here, right? Black people are like, if you compare like entire groups to people, you see Brittany Simon talking about your last video. I did not. There's some Christian black folks that are going to be a little conservative, but even they are still more liberal than white Christians. Yeah. Right? There are of course conservative black peoples, you know, black people, that they exist. Right? But the black community as a whole, when compared to other groups of people, like if you compare like the black community to like the Asian community or the Hispanic community on any number of key different metrics, like black people are not like more reactionary than they are. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of different factors when it comes to like what does it mean to be reactionary, right? You look at the Hispanic community. You look at like, oh, why did all these Latinos vote for Trump, and you know, yada 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 yada. You know, compared to black people, you can say that they are more reactionary, right? You look at like affirmative action and like how a lot of like, you know, the Asian community aligns with whiteness as it pertains to like college admission and DEI, and like you say that that's reactionary, right? You can look at a number of different factors to be like, oh, these other communities are also more reactionary than the black community, but there's a you don't see the same thing as like white people because they're not seen as like a generality. You know what I mean? I probably ended up going up. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just how it is, right? That's why I said what I said, which is like, and why I say what I say all the time, which is black people are oftentimes put into this box of only holding these certain positions. Like black people, religious, therefore conservative. Black people, religious, therefore, you know, homophobic. Black people, religious, therefore transphobic, right? When like the black community is way more diverse than that, right? And even when compared to like other communities, they're not like more homophobic or more transphobic, right? Than like other communities are as well. You know?
Just kind of be like, oh, you're a hateful bigot. And it used to work. Like this was a very successful way to completely silence all manner of dissent in the past. It just doesn't work anymore because like Israel's actions have been so transparent and so heinous since October 7 that many people in the Western world recognize it now as such. And that, I think that kickstarted the process of people also like diving a little bit deeper into the history of Israel and its development and its inception, all the way from the Nakba in 1947 or even prior to that. And it caused people to realize like, oh, we just didn't know anything about this process at all. We didn't know anything about the way that this design looked like at all, or they were, you know, misguided. They were taught differently about how Israel was developed.
Now, I noticed, you know, following you, I see people criticize you a lot, right? They say that.
Why is DJ Envy's mic so low?
You criticize capitalism, but they also say you make millions of dollars streaming. So what do you say to those people, those individuals?
Well, it's when I was broke, I also advocated for the poor. And at that point, they would be like, oh, you're jealous. You're jealous of the wealth. You just want to steal their wealth. And now I'm financially successful, and I say the exact same things. Now they say I'm a hypocrite. And the reality of the matter is it's not about my financial circumstances at all. It's just about what I'm saying. I think people have internalized this idea that you cannot, and it's not even just about like advocating for the poor, advocating for the working class. It's more so just about any kind of belief that a better future is possible. People look at that and there's deep cynicism and distrust. When they hear that, they go, there's got to be something here. He's selling me something. Meanwhile, on the other side of this equation, there are people who are selling you things. I feel like there are so many people who will just be like, I made it. I'm rich. I made the American dream happen for myself. And you can too, as long as you sign on to my course. You know, for $65, if you go to my Discord server, I'll teach you all the tricks on how to be rich. And everyone, like, there are a lot of people who want that. There are a lot of people who demand that. They're desperate for it. And it's understandable that they're desperate for it because a lot of people are struggling financially. And I want to create a much better solution to this problem, because the problem is within the systems and not up to the individual.
That's why I want to hear more about being
Envy
a democratic
Stray?
socialist. Because
Does Envy have a course where he's like, teach me how to make money, or I teach you how to make money? That's so funny. Do y'all hear that? There's a fire alarm going off. Hold on.
to me, I thought being democratic socialist meant you want economic power just to shift from corporations to working class individuals. You want the wealthy to be taxed. You want market regulations. Like that's what I.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's definitely one form of it.
Okay.
And there's numerous different designs for how to move this economy in a more productive way. I like the way I put it is there's a lot of potential in this world, and I think we're squandering it. Right. There's a lot of potential in this world that is never unlocked because of which zip code someone was born into, or
it's still going.
At the global level, which country someone was born into. If you're born in,
it's bright out there, by the way,
on one side of a made-up boundary that we created, and you're being dominated by countries like America or even Israel in the circumstance, it's a lot harder for you to unlock your full potential. And I see that everywhere that I go, and it's very frustrating for me. So yeah, I want to make sure that there is this real material equality as a starting point that we offer to every single person, as long as we have that capacity, and we certainly do here in the United States of America. This is the wealthiest nation on earth, and yet 700,000 people sleep outside every night. Like they don't have a house. I mean, that's crazy. That's a policy failure, right? And we can solve these problems, but the reason why we choose not to is the same exact reason why we have a surplus of food supply in the world, and yet 14 million people die every year due to famine-related diseases. It's a matter of logistics. It's a matter of profit. So I don't care about profit.
Yeah, Cheddar, I think you might just have might be a you problem. I don't think Hasan wearing a suit is like that big of a deal.
I think it's ridiculous, and I think we need to scale that back dramatically in the interim, and then hopefully
it's like getting mad at somebody
away.
who wears fake glasses because they like the style, and you're getting mad because they think it makes them look. They're trying to be smart. You know what I mean? It's like it's not that big of a deal. He's appropriating my culture wearing a suit.
From our current design, our current understanding of who the economy is supposed to work for.
And how do you balance? I would say being an entertainer and also doing what you do, right? Because it has to be a line, right? There's a million and one people online that's an activist, right? But some of them are not entertaining. So how do you balance that line to keep people coming in to make sure you spread your message?
This makes me want to talk about Streamer University. I should have started with Streamer University because I think it's hilarious. Have y'all seen the Streamer University drama? Have y'all been keeping up with the drama around Streamer University? You got accepted? I'm not applying for that, bro. No, bro. People are like camping outside of the thing and like getting heat stroke and stuff. It's literally like because Wade got cocked from it. Did he? Oh, so yeah, I did get into a real university. That's why you were moving? LOL.
That you want to put out there?
Yeah, I think you have to be palatable. I think you can't just
Is it a physical
do,
thing?
You know,
Yeah,
academic.
it's like I covered streaming university. It's happening right now. It's not happening right now, is it? Like at this moment, directly, exactly. People are there right now. Oh no, they're doing auditions. Yeah, they're doing auditions. Freaking liars. I know what I'm talking about. It was live right now for it says auditions in her title. Streamer University 2 auditions. LA audiences got canceled. What? People camping out for it? Yeah, I know that. People are like, it's happening right now. I'm like, no, it's not. But the auditions in LA are happening right now. You can see you're not there. No, I didn't apply for a reason. I honestly think it's a little bit lame. That's my hot take on streaming university. That's why you're in LA? Sure. Anyway, I covered streaming university. No, we'll do a sidebar from Hasan. I want to see Kai crashing out. What is Kai crashing out about? Here. Too woke. No, I can get in if I wanted to. All right. Listen, I could. Anyway, I covered streaming university last year. Streaming university has a DDG problem. Streaming university's DDG problem. Like everything that DDG did here, DDG was never going to be expelled. You know what I mean? That wasn't. Or anyway, I think it's for baby stream watchers, to be honest. Why are people camping out? Okay, we'll take a brief aside from Hasan. Brief aside from Hasan to cover streaming university. Brief aside, we'll take 30 minutes. If you don't know what streaming university is, I will explain it very simply. Streamer university is Kai Cenat's Annabelle? Streamer university. Streamer university is Kai Cenat's thing. His why is this okay? Here, I'll show you this instead. It's Kai Cenat's endeavor where he rents out of college for like a week or 2 weeks or whatever. I think it's about a week. He rents out of college for like a week, and he gets a bunch of streamers at this college. There's like classes and stuff. Streamers like network together and they like bunk together and they make content together and all this stuff. Right? It's what streaming university is. That happened last year. There were some issues and drama and stuff that happened last year, that occurred last year, which I will not get into because it's not important. But he's doing it again this year. So Kai Cenat came back from his 8-month break to drop Streamer University Season 2, right? You say going back to school, don't tell me Streamer University. Is it leaked? I leaked it, I'm sorry. Anyway, and he decided to have like in-person auditions in different cities this year. One in New York City, one in LA, and then one in Atlanta. This year. Did Vivette even drop? No. Right? In-person applications at 1 p.m. at all these different places. I could have went to the LA one if I really wanted to. I didn't really want to. That's why you're moving to ATL. I'm never going back to ATL. Fighting, pushing, vandalism, or disruptive behavior will not be tolerated. Please follow instructions. Anyway, what is this? What is this? He apparently crashed out. LOL. True. It's interesting because it won't teach you how to stream, but it could teach you how to farm clips and collabs. It won't do that either. But you could try to convert to stream viewers, and it's an interesting evolution. It's not going to do that. I'm letting you know right now, it's not going to do that. It's not. There are very few people. You know what? I will explain to you why I won't do that. Streamer University 2025 list. Here's why. I'm going to randomly start picking people from this list. Right? And keep in mind, a lot of these people were already popular. You know, like Arky, Dabo, Mari, Emily CC, Deshae Frost. Right? Like a lot of these people were already like popular. Wendy and Evelyn Ortiz, Rakai. Right? I want to pick this person. Wait, this is not the same person. What? What was that? Oh, did they change their name? Oh, they're live right now. Right? But they're not like popping off, you know? Or like this person. Right? But to be fair, this is like that streaming university happened here. It went from like 50 to like 60 viewers. Like, it's fine. So it's either the people who most benefited from streaming university are the people who are already popular. It's kind of my point, right? If you didn't have an established audience, you weren't going to grow an established audience from streamer university. Right? I think a lot of people are kind of delusional about what it takes to become a successful streamer. Right? Like no beef to these people, right? But like some of the clips that I've been seeing about streaming university are people being like, I've been sitting out here for 5 hours and I didn't even get the chance to audition. It's like, I think because you have like a raw, like there was freaking like a former an NFL star. Former NFL star Levon Bell speaks out about his horrible experience during the in-person streamer university auditions in LA, explaining that he waited 7 hours just not even get a chance to meet Kai and prove why he deserves to get in. Like, did y'all see this?
Yesterday, it turned your boy. It lit a fire under your boy. It like, I don't think y'all understand how much inspiration, how much motivation yesterday gave me. And everybody probably looking like, bro, you done made it to the NFL, you this, that, and the third. It's like, bro, what you worried about streaming university? It's not even about streaming university, chat. It's not even about that. It's about the principle. So, you can deny the resume just strictly off of the streamer, like, alone. Like, all right, man, bro, you been streaming. Like, he was going to look at my resume. He's going to look at how often I stream. Then he's going to look at my content that I post on Instagram and Twitter and everything else. Look at my
What is it? Okay. Levon Bell 100. Now I need to know. Now I need to know. You know what I'm saying? At least he's not Ray J View Button. At least he's not Ray J View Button. Also, he just started streaming back again in June. What does he mean? Like Kai's gonna look at like Kai's gonna look at my how much I've been streaming. He's gonna be like, yeah, you got it, bro. He started streaming again in June. He hasn't streamed for like 6 months.
Your shit, and that nigga was going to accept me, bro. I feel like Kai was going to accept me right away if he would have seen my resume. If he would have just seen it, just took a look, took 5 minutes to look at my resume. I feel like Kai was like, hey, look, bro, I feel like you win. Not even knowing that I'm first team all pro. Bro, don't even look at me like that. Don't even look at me as no football player or nothing.
I think the biggest problem with a lot of people applying for Streamer University is that they don't want to do the work required to get into Streamer University to get into Streamer University. You know what I mean? Like there's a pre-SAT to taking the SATs, right? You got to go to undergrad before you go to grad school. Does that make sense? Like people, it kind of is like the same conversation about like QD's like streamer awards a little bit, where it's like there's this expectation people have is like, yeah, I have 2 viewers, right? I'm the perfect person for Streamer University. But it's like, that's not really how that works. You know? Like, Jaylen Brown from the Celtics applying? No, send that to me as well.
__P just subscribed.
And I think, and this is the problem. I think a lot of people want a shortcut to becoming popular in streaming. Right? I think a lot of people want a shortcut. They want they want to jump immediately from going to having no viewers to having like 1,000 viewers. Right? Which is why you have people who are like, not even just this person. I think I saw this. The complaint that it's mostly luck anyway. It is mostly luck, but I think these people have an idea where it's like they're kind of entitled to that luck. You know, it's not like I'm going to keep making content where I'm going to keep trying to build my streaming platform. And if I make it, I make it. It's more like, how dare Kai not accept me? I sat out here for 7 hours, right? I put all this time into it and I didn't even get a chance kind of thing, you know? And I think like to a certain extent, I think I remember being like this when I was like a newer streamer. Where like I wanted to be in the rooms, right? But then I ended up getting into the rooms and I was like, I don't really like it here, you know? I ended up seeing other people in the space and I was like, I'm not a huge fan of that, which is why I don't do it anymore, you know? But like, so I remember being like hungry for it, right? And wanting it, right? But that hunger is going to burn you out, right? That hunger sometimes comes with entitlement that is going to impede your growth.
Is all right, Le'Veon Bell the streamer, bro. Like, I'm not even about to be like, oh shit, yeah, I feel like I'm bigger than this person, or because that's what y'all seen, chat. That's what I wasn't trying to do at the lawn. Everybody like, yeah, just telling you Le'Veon Bell and then you gonna get in. It's like, bro, chat, I hate doing that, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I be trying to be the most regular person.
Like, I understand this, right? And to a certain extent, like that's a little bit respectable, but like, I think he has a misunderstanding about how growing on streaming works, right? You can't like make a faceless channel on Twitch, right? And then tell nobody about it and then expect to grow, right? Like, I get wanting to like grow off of your own merits. How you've been streaming 3 years. I get wanting to grow off of your own merits, but like the only way you grow on Twitch is by building an established audience elsewhere. That's the only way. You're not gonna grow on Twitch by just going live and then hoping people stumble in. You know, but he's just humbly like T-Pain did. Even then, T-Pain was doing collaborations, right? T-Pain was doing collaborations. T-Pain was streaming consistently, right? For years. For years. Right? And you gotta, build that. Probably be more successful if you played off his previous success as a former NFL running back. Yeah, and like, it's in Discord. It has been a few days that I haven't been accepted. I'll ping the mods. I don't do Discord exception. I don't do Discord exceptions. Acceptances. That's what the word is.
Ever be, bro, because I don't like flexing and making it seem like my name, like I'm better than anybody else, because I'm not, Chad. I'm no better than you. I'm no better than the next person. You know what I'm saying? We all human.
Right, and again, I think like being humble is important, but you also have to be a little bit delusional, right? If you want my advice, you also have to be, you have to think you're better than the next person, just a little bit, right? Don't think you're entitled to it, but you have to think that like, yeah, I've put the work in, right? You have to have some level of confidence in your abilities, right? Because you have to try to sell yourself to somebody else, right? You can't go to your college admission, like actual college admission, and be like, yeah, I'm just the same guy as Todd over there. We're the same person. Because why would that person pick you over Todd, right? You have to be like, this is my life. This is my experience. This is what I bring to the table. You have to be able to sell yours. Maybe he does need streaming university, right? Maybe he does need that actually. Because like you have to know how to sell yourself to a certain extent. You have to be able to do your elevator pitch. You have to be able to put yourself in front of other people and be like, this is why you should watch me, if you really want that. If you don't want that, that's another thing, right? If you're fine with having your niche community, that's fine and that's good, right? Have your niche community. I understand how it feels to try to have a niche community and it doesn't work. Ask me about my Not the Black channel, how it has too many followers now. That's why I need a third channel, because I want to have a more niche community, right? If you want that, then that's fine, right? But if you don't want that, if you want to grow, you're going to have to do the work to actually grow. Is that available at just university? Yeah, but who wants to do that? You can't join university. You can't get a, wait, okay. Chat, you remember that Marxist we talked about earlier who said you need to drop out of school? Right? Do you think that applies to Streamer University? Are you a fake Marxist if you go to Streamer University? Just think about it.
Now we have different lives and we go different avenues and shit, but everybody human being, you know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like I'm bigger than nobody, you know what I'm saying? But you got other streamers in there, and I seen it, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I seen it with my own two eyes when I was in there, chat.
What? Maybe it's good he didn't get in. But if we're being real, this would be better for him, right? This is how DDG got in. Jury orders ex-NFL player Levon Bell to pay $25 million in damages in sexual abuse case. I mean, DDG was a professor. Maybe, bro, Kai's gonna see this and be like, yeah, you're teaching class today. That's where the money went? Oh, you're right. That makes sense.
I'm not gonna talk bad about nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody to each his own. But just, I seen all them streamers.
That's funny. Also, if you're already a part of some kind of online community, it's easier to try to enter the space. There's also like every niche under the sun. Yeah. Which is why I say why a lot of these people don't succeed. Not like Levon Bell specifically, but a lot of people like who went to these auditions are failing right now and are crying about like not even being seen or whatever, is because they're not Twitch users. Right? They watch stream clips on TikTok. Right? That's the only engagement with Twitch. They watch stream clips on TikTok. They say, that's easy. I can do that and I can become rich. And then they start streaming 2 days before applying to Streaming University. And then they're like, well, I'm not rich right now. Why am I not rich immediately? This is a problem. Right? I don't know this person. I don't know who Jaden Violet is. Let me check. Wait, was he at Streaming University last year? Oh no, he was just in the Streaming University category. Anyway.
It's just it's like discouraging, bro, when like, I don't know, people with motion.
Okay, no, I will say this guy actually did stream. Guys, this guy is a consistent streamer. I will say this. So I don't want to mischaracterize this person specifically, but there are a lot of people who aren't consistent streamers. There's some people who got in last year who don't even stream. They didn't stream beforehand. They streamed for Streaming University and then didn't stream afterwards.
It's just chat. It's like discouraging, bro. When like I don't know, people with motion can just skip and then like go to the front, bro, and not have to suffer. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have to suffer. You feel me? And they just like go right through, bro.
People in the hallway also.
I don't even know, Solo. That whole thing is just for no reason. There's only so much that he could do, bro. He can't pick everyone, you know?
Hosted a New Jersey creator
He
house,
really can't.
made an album, sold out. What does that say?
So, thank you so much. I'm sorry my tone's down, bro, because it's like, you gotta understand. I'm a little, I'm sad, but like, trust me, bro, like, I still believe.
Oh, TwitchCon. Oh.
You know, we're like, we meet him, bro, after all of that work. But, you know, things don't pan out.
This is a good way to put it. It is a humiliation ritual. It is a humiliation ritual. But like, you know, it's kind of required if you want to become a streamer. Right? It is a humiliation ritual a little bit. You gotta kind of debase yourself for shit done in-person auditions. I don't know. There's no way that to do something like this where it's like it's gonna work for everybody. Obviously, like some people have to not get in. Right? Like you can't let everybody in, right? But like I don't know. Is that the culture you want to change though? Me? Not really. Why people don't understand that there's way too many people and it's a luck. Not everyone's going to be taken.
As we see, but I really love you guys, bro. 400 people here is like, it's fucking insane. I'm very grateful, bro. I'm very grateful.
This guy doesn't seem like a bad person. I'm going to put that out there. Like, he doesn't seem like a bad person. Right? Here, I'll finish this video.
In there, like and the guys, they got the names, the big streamer names. I see how they act around other people and how they treat others. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that shit matters, bro. All that shit matters. Whether like people don't understand, bro. Life is long, bro. Life is about the long game. People don't even understand that shit. Niggas be thinking like,
room full of cloud chasers. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily like fully fair. Like that people rage baiting on each other and talking about criticism. Like, no, like, obviously that's not good. Right? But my point is that that is how the industry is. Like, I'm telling you just how the industry is. Right? There's no fixing that. You can't fix that. Right? There's not. I'm just telling you, like, that's just what the industry is. And a lot of people have this idea that like just showing up and not being that like is gonna like get them in the door. Right? But they're gonna get hit in the face with the idea that like that's the type of stuff that is rewarded in the industry. You know what I mean? Right, only big streamers making it into the stream university. I don't think the only big streamers. There are going to be some small streamers who make it in there, right? But it disproportionately benefits the bigger streamers because that's just how the industry works. You know? Like last year, the big controversy was like, I didn't get into streaming university, but look at the person who did get into streaming university. And it's unfair to me, right? But the person who got into streaming university also didn't like pop off. Because I think the core of the conversation is this. People have a misunderstanding about what the actual like what it actually means to be a streamer. That's the core of the conversation. Is that people have a misunderstanding about what it actually means to be a streamer. Majority of creators who interviewed Kai were already big names. I didn't know Turk talked about this. They think streaming is easier than a 9 to 5. I don't even think that's necessarily the case. I think that's a little bit cynical. I think it's mostly just that like people have this dream, this idea, right? And of course it makes sense, right? Because you want to have a level of financial freedom by doing something that you enjoy and doing something creative. Like it's like wanting to be an artist a little bit. Like if you could make money by doing something that you enjoy, right? I can understand trying to do that or wanting to do that, right? But I think a big problem is a lot of people who want to do that get a conception about what it means to be a streamer from like TikTok clips. They see TikTok clips of all of these big streamers making a bunch of money, right? And they're like, I want to do that. And when that doesn't happen for them, they get frustrated, they lash out, and then it becomes like everybody else's problem. The truth of the matter is, most streamers are not Kai Cenat. Most streamers are not Lacey or Ron or Hasan or XQC or Asmongold or Ludwig, right? Most streamers, statistically speaking, most streamers have under 50 viewers. You know? If you're trying to make online friends if you're just trying to make online friends consistently and doing chill streams with 2 to 5 viewers worth it, if you find it fulfilling, right? I'm a big proponent of everybody should stream, right? I think everybody has something unique and interesting to say. The issue is that people think that they can only be a streamer if they do what Kai does, right? That's why you see like a huge amount of like IRL streamers, right? You have people at streaming university with like cameramen. Like that feels like an oxymoron, right? Am I wrong on that? Like you have people at streamer universities with cameramen. Like, I think people throw like so much investment in like what they think about, right? That streaming is that they kind of lose the forest for the trees. You should get into streaming because you find it fulfilling to make content, right? Not because you think you're gonna meet celebrities and famous people, not because you think that you're gonna make a bunch of money, right? It should be, I want to do live streaming because I think that is a fulfilling thing for me to do, right? I am fulfilled by doing that. I think a lot of people don't have that mindset. Reach out there to offer support, but I don't know what's going on with Brittany Simon. What's the beef? The beef, she's chill. No, like what's the support in what regard?
Oh,
my experience at this in-person streaming university applications.
Ugly cry. I'm so bad. I'm coming up here because as bad as I want this, bro, like as bad as I want to go to streaming university, I feel like awareness needs to be spread because, bro, I just want to talk about me and my experience going to the streaming university in-person application in New York City. I know everybody else want it as bad. I know other people call out of work. I know like other people had to sacrifice and do things to be there. But
like a hot take. Please do not put your job in jeopardy for streamer university. Please do not do that. Do not put your job in jeopardy for streamer university. Do not call out of work for streamer university. American Idol is so back. You should also not do that for American Idol either. I just want to put that out there. Like, it's just, don't do that.
I speak for myself. Like, I'm just so angry because I was so close in the line. Got there at 6 o'clock in the morning. People were already sleeping out there, which was insane.
What are we doing, bro? And the worst part about it is that like it didn't even help the people who went last year like that. That's the craziest part. It didn't even help the people who went last year dramatically. Like they got a slight boost in their viewership and then it went back down. Streamer University is not going to make you a star. Streamer University is not going to make you famous. It's not. I have to break your delusion for a second. It is not going to make you famous. Right? It's not going to make you famous. It's content for Kai. It can be useful to a certain extent, but it's not going to make you, it's not a golden ticket. You know? She supposed D first, but many Owen reached out to her about his misconduct, and then she wasn't listened to later on. Came out with more concrete proof that D was terrible. She's no longer in the debate space. She talks about things from a philosophical POV. Okay, we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about why you should not go to. I'm trying to get this message through to you, right? This is a very important message, right? Please do not put your real life job in jeopardy for Streamer University. Do not do that. Right? If you are unable to like leverage your personality without Streamer University, you're not going to do it with Streamer University. Right? I'm not saying that it can't be useful, but if you have this expectation that like this will make or break your career, I promise you that it won't. It won't. It will not. Don't like have this idea that like you know what I mean? That this is gonna like make or break your career.
I mean, if you want it, you want it, you're gonna get it, you're gonna do whatever it takes. Understandable. Met people, they allowed me to cut. People were cutting anyways. Because obviously people want it, or they want to meet Kai Cenat, or whatever the reasons are for. They obviously want to be in the front to get in first. So I was out there meeting people, making connections. I was grateful for that. But it was starting to get closer to time. First of all, people were passing out. My thing is, it was time was getting closer to going inside. Some people were able to go inside earlier before even Kai got there. And then like the drone would come out, people were pushing and shoving. Like, I'm so angry because I was so fucking close. People were getting excited about a fucking drone, pushing people, like, it was like the building. So I was standing by the glass so that I wouldn't get caught up because, mind you, I'm small, bro. Like, got big people trying to bum rush to get to see the drone, pushing and shoving, trying to get into the front, and it's like you can't get in. Then after that, after the drone scene happened, people had chairs outside because they were literally sleeping outside. So you had the chairs knocking people over, tripping on the chairs, people pushing. I almost broke my leg, bro. Literally, my leg was fucking twisting. Like, I low-key feel like I sprained my leg. Almost lost my bag with all my stuff in it. Again, you have big people pushing and shoving, they know that they're big, and they're using that ability to get in the front. Oh my God. Like, it wasn't even worth losing my life because somebody is going to end up, like, God forbid, somebody's going to end up getting hurt. It's a whole bunch of people, so people that's all the way in the back, see the line is moving. It's like a domino effect. You're getting pushed. Then I'm asking people, like, okay, like, I don't even care anymore. Like, I just want to get out.
Hello?
Okay, like, I don't even care anymore. Like, I just want to get out. They're going to move forward with the line, so I'm going to get pushed within the line. Almost lost my shoes. People standing on, people, oh my God, like, people were making fun of me because I was trying.
Someone stole a streamer's Sony camera at a Santa's meetup in ATL for the event. That's not funny. That's not funny. ATL's really a PvP zone. What's going on in these lines, bro? I don't freaking know, bro. I don't freaking know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
See it out, which I really don't even care, but it's just still like, bro, like Then you got people that's out there drunk, high, people tired from sitting out there, hot,
People got cut on
stinking.
live. Okay, I think you're
Like,
lying about that.
bro, the whole event is just like, the whole in-person application is just mad unserious. And I say that to say because you got people who really want it. The people that really want it, you got people, a whole bunch of people playing because they want the opportunity to meet Kai and to get a viral moment or whatever, which I'm not knocking anybody for their reasons of going. But it's just like,
Over on TikTok, they'll look at the numbers.
like,
Yeah, but TikTok numbers don't really mean anything. Also, the comments are clowning on her.
But he said to call out of work, call out of freaking work, got a flight to go back home.
Wait.
Like, I'm sad. Like, now I'm home. But he said to call out of work, call out of freaking work, got a flight to go back.
Please don't call to work and please do not fly for Streamer University. I have to. I'm guaranteeing this right now. You are going to spend more money on your application if you do stuff like this than you will make back in like 6 months of streaming. If you have like 200 followers, I'm guaranteeing that right now. You're not going to like blow up and then make like thousands of dollars a month. I am promising you this. Treating like going on TV. And that's also bad, by the way. Right? That's also bad. You should also not quit your job to go on Love Island. But even then, that's more useful because you are going on Love Island, you know? You're not applying for Love Island. That's like quitting your job to apply for Love Island. That's your cop? I don't know the meme. Is there a meme with a cop that quit like his job to apply for Love Island? I don't get it. Did that happen? Or is it just saying that like cops should quit their jobs? Yes. You got kicked off first? Oh, that was Sean. Oh, I said it earlier. I knew somebody whose name was Sean who people were clowning on. I didn't know he was a cop. LOL, that's pretty funny. He was an ICE agent? Stop. Or so she was an ICE agent.
Back home. Like, bro, I'm just so bad. Like, I moved to New York City 5.5 months ago. And one of my biggest prayers was, God, allow me to get out of my comfort zone. And this was a big opportunity.
Well, you did that though. Net positive. You didn't ask at Streamer University, you know? You gotta be specific with your prayers. You gotta be... All you asked was to get you out of your comfort zone, and it happened. So I don't see this win-win. Win-win if you ask me.
Go above and beyond, like was stepping out of my comfort to go over here to present myself and chase my dreams. And now I'm at home. Like,
And there's more of these, by the way. There is more of these, by the way.
Damn, Kai. You posted this super short notice New York City in-person application for Streamer University that started at 1 p.m. I dropped everything, painted you this big-ass one-of-one Streamer University.
This is a humiliation ritual, bro. This is a humiliation ritual. You cannot convince me to do this for anybody. You can't. You can't. Not a single person you will convince me to do this for. Maybe I don't want it that bad. Maybe it's my fault, and I don't want it that bad.
The Kai Cenat painting got to the spot at 10:30. It's now 6:30. So me and hundreds of other people stood in the sun for what is 10? That's 8 hours. Just for you to end the shit while mad people are outside. Feed her in.
Does this person even have a Twitch? Hold on. Oh, by the way, the last girl we looked at doesn't even stream. I just want to point out, this was the girl we looked at. Her last stream was like a year ago. TikTok streams for sure? I don't think so. I think Kai said it's not only for streamers, so that's kind of on him. Oh, that is on him then. Maybe TikTok Live? No, she has 44,000 on TikTok. That's not getting you big numbers on live. I don't think so. I think she just wanted to be I think she just wanted to go, you know?
And bags hurting, knees hurting, haven't ate, haven't drank, been in the sun all day, but we all are out here chasing our dreams, following you, and you dip, and I know you have.
Well, how long did you want him to be there for? Kai, you did not stay overnight to get through the entire line of the 12,000 people who came to meet you and give them all a 5-minute interview.
Or a team that you were doing this with, that you were like figuring out who's gonna make it into Streamer University in person or whatever. So if you really, really needed to dip, you could have had your team continue to see people at least like you streamed for 8 hours. You didn't even do these tryouts for 8 hours or whatever you want to call it.
What are we talking about?
It was
bro?
mad short notice. Everybody came out. I was along with hundreds of other people were standing waiting for 8 hours or more. And I'm really certain you would have fucked with it. I'm really certain.
He doesn't have a Twitch.
Hot hands, light skin tone.
At least his Twitch is not his TikTok name. I can't even find his Twitch, which may be a different problem. Like he has a link tree that has a link to a YouTube. Oh wait, he made a little podcast. Wait, actually, maybe he did stream. Hold on.
Streamer University applications in person in New York City.
Oh no, he streams on YouTube. He has a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He has 8 streams. I'm sorry. Did people show up in their Amazon uniforms? Oh no, it's a bit. It's a bit.
Streamer University applications. What?
One eternity later.
I just finished spending my entire day at the Streamer University event out here in New York City, and I didn't even get in fucking side, bro. Chat, I got there at 5 o'clock in the morning, bro.
Yo, if I ever get to, this is why I said I will never stream for like longer than like 5 years, right? Cause like I cannot imagine like doing this. If I ever get to this point, take me out back and old yell at me. Take me out back and old yell at me. They think it's their one shot, and they're wrong. That's the craziest part. They're wrong. Like, there are streamers who went last year. Like here, whoever this person is. The person hasn't even streamed. What about this person? Or this person? Salty Gummy Bear. Is this an AI profile picture? This person has streamed, but like before Streamer University, she was at like 50. After Streamer University, she's at like 20. So like this is the problem. It's not even going to like massively change the trajectory of your career. You know what I mean? That she definitely had some really small streamers like a KDB. Yeah. and the Ortiz twins. But this is the issue, right? It's not that again, I will say this again. It's not that Streamer University can't be helpful, right? But if you're not putting in the work before Streamer University, you're not going to be doing it afterwards, right? Streamer University is not going to be your make or break thing. It's, yeah, it would be cool if I got into Streamer University. Oh, I didn't get in. Oh, that's unfortunate. All right, back to grind it. You know what I mean? But all the people that we see complaining, they don't even stream. All of the people that we see complaining don't even stream. Did Rakai become popular from Streamer University? No. No.
Your team would have fucked with it or fucked with me or the different things that I do or whatever.
Because they held in-person auditions, so they wasted hours trying to get in. And that's kind of their fault, I'm gonna be real. Not to victim blame them a little bit, but like to victim blame them a little bit. That's kind of their fault. It is. If you're showing up at 4 a.m. to see Kai Cenat, like, because you think it's just gonna make or break your career, honestly, let me tell you, right? If you want my actual genuine advice on how to become a streamer, right? You got to be a chatter first, right? You got to be a community member first. Watch other people's streams, engage with their streams, chat with their streams, right? Big streamers, small streamers, medium-sized streamers, right? Be a chatter first. Right? And I know this because I see chatters of mine who start streaming and I start rating chatters of mine. There are chatters of mine who have started streaming that I've rated because they've been in my community and because they chat in here. Right? You never rated me? I never see you stream. Right? That's how I got started. I got started as a streamer because I was a chatter in a Hasan's community. I did come here because you chatted in Hasan's chat and he talked to you directly. Yeah. And that's how you build a community. Streaming is not just going live, ending stream, expecting people to come in, right? It is creating a community. You are building a community, right? That is essential to becoming a streamer. You're not just gonna like show up, go to Streamers University, even get in, and then succeed. You have to be consistent. You have to build a community. And even then, it's all luck. Even then, it's all luck. All luck. You know what I mean? And so, these are just things you have to consider, right? So yes, be delusional, but also be realistic with yourself, right? Also know what you're getting into. Right? Please do not put your job in jeopardy to go to Streamer University. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Do not put your job in jeopardy to go to Streamer University. Right? This is not 2010. Right? You can't just quit your job and then put all your eggs in the basket of becoming a content creator. You couldn't even do it back then either. But, you know, survivorship bias. Yeah, quit your job or grab out of school and become a UPS driver or something. I don't know. Ow. There's also lowering expectations. Having a fun with a 10% chat is already a laudable enough goal. Yeah. Right? You should also not be doing it for money either. You should be doing it because you find it as fulfilling. You know? Quit my job to become a mod? LOL.
I don't know. It is what it is. I don't even know if you'll see this, Kai, but I know that if you were standing outside waiting for while chasing your dreams and for 8 hours, sweaty as hell, achy as hell, just for cops to tell you that it's over, the person you were waiting for left, I can't imagine you wouldn't be tight. All I wanted was to tell Either you or your
Like, and there's also this idea that like Kai didn't like go through these growing pains of growing his Twitch either. Kai was not to defend Kai here, by the way, but Kai was extraordinarily lucky as well. But like Kai also started somewhere. This idea that Kai, you would never know. You would have like Kai didn't come from like generational streaming wealth, you know? Like Kai was like, my dad was a streamer, and then his dad was a streamer, and his dad was a streamer, and now I'm a streamer. And now I'm a streamer. like Kai also started from somewhere as well. Like, I just like, I don't know. I don't know.
What I do, that I'm a painter, that I'm a mural artist, that I'm a tattoo artist, that I'm a podcast, that I'm a content creator, that I'm all these different things. And if none of that was good enough, and I took the L, I would have gladly taken the L. To sit and stand, not even sit, 'cause I didn't sit for fucking 8 hours. To stand in the fucking summer hot sun for 8 hours just to be told when I'm getting to the front of the line that Kai Cenat left is mad bogus. Damn, Kai.
Like,
you post.
I don't understand. I don't understand this. Like, somebody had to be at the back of the line. You know what I mean? Like, objectively speaking, somebody had to be at the back of the line. Like, there's no way that Kai Cenat could have seen everybody. It's an impossibility. That was crazy, especially over an audition. I don't understand it.
Do you not understand that I've been sitting in rain, heat, cold air for the last maybe 10
I'm sorry, like, this is maybe my hottest take here ever. I don't think these people are cut out to be streamers. Not even in a perspective of like streaming is like a hard job, right? It's not like that hard. But like, if you can't get through the growing pains of growing an audience, you're not going to keep that audience. I don't know what to tell you, right? I think it's necessary for you to go through growing pains of trying to grow an audience, right? Because then you appreciate the audience more. But these people want to be handed an audience, you know? And there are people who have been handed an audience and who've squandered it. There are people who consistently collaborate with people who have tens of thousands of followers or tens of thousands of viewers who come out the end of it with like 200. You know what I mean? I saw the audition via private page stream, and it was overcrowded. And we had the person thinking that they were going to be the next big streamer. The entitlement at best is to think is if Kai just would have seen me, I'd be famous now. That's literally what they're saying, by the way. Also, if you have a link, I did want to see the inside perspective of the auditions.
hours.
If you're behaving like this entitled way, you're not going to hold an audience. You're right. Yeah.
I have been online since 1 a.m. Since 1 a.m. The reality is, this was never a line. This was never a line. It was a herd of sheep. It was literally.
Dog, you were a part of that. That was you were there. Like
a group just pushing through. There were so many people talking about, I was here 7 a.m. I was here since 1 a.m.
Great content would have been streaming the line, to be honest, if you're entertaining enough. The problem is that a lot of people were doing some like a lot of people were trying to become like the next like freaking Kevin Hart in the line. They were like doing bombastic bits to get attention, right? Because it is about the spectacle. I've seen E-Rob stream of 34 hours removing water from a tub with a spoon and people complaining about standing in a line.
Since 1 a.m.
Damn, Kai. You posted this super short.
We just saw this.
New York top team. And hundreds I been in follow. I know this hundreds of fuck if Kate or level none of this state lived is tempt is mad bogus. Alright, so it is 10:30. I just got home because I live 2 hours away from Manhattan, where
the New York City auditions were. I just want to wrap up this whole experience with the last final thoughts. This in no way, shape, or form is really a diss towards Kai Cenat in the unlikely chance that he sees this. Like, I still have the utmost admiration and inspiration from Kai Cenat. I just think the streamer university in-person auditions could have been handled better. Someone said in the comments on TikTok that it's unrealistic to think that they could have seen everybody or whatever. I disagree because Mr.
Really?
Beast is someone that does videos with thousands of people all the time. And
I don't know if that's analogous. Let's put it out there. I do not know if that is analogous. You think he tries to talk to them?
And that's just one like example. Also, a streamer university, and you're shaping it like a university. You're like acting as the dean. You have teachers, you have students. That's going to take place probably at a university, or you're going to have classes, all these different things. Universities handle these things accordingly. They don't just like shut everyone that was there when they
Wait, yes, they do. Did this guy go to university? They 100% do that, bro. My university, when I was in undergrad, had a concert for T-Pain, right? First of all, you had to get a ticket. This was Kai's fault. Kai should have done ticketing. He should have had people apply through a ticketing service, right? And like, or maybe even bought a ticket and then done ticketing for the event. That way you can have a specific count of how many people are going to be there. You can have a specific time frame about how long you're going to give each person, and then get people through, right? Like that is an L on Kai and his team, for sure. But if you think you can just show up and then Kai will be able to see you, that is unrealistic, right? Do a lottery system, right? Have people apply. Exactly. What about ticket lottery system? Yes. Right? Maybe not even 100 people, maybe like 200 people, 300 people, right? Do a ticketed lottery system. What did he do last year? I thought it'd be like sending in videos or something. He did that as well. Right? Expecting to see him at an open call, which is crazy because there is open casting calls that happen in New York City. And if you show up, you will get turned away if you're at the end of the line. That's how it works. Right? For like open casting calls, we're looking for extras for this thing, just show up here. You go into the line, they'll cut you off and be like, sorry, no more. You go to a club and you're like, all right, I want to go to this club. You try to walk in, they're like, sorry, we're full right now. Like, they can't let everybody in. There's literally, it's an impossibility. Right? Even, is there an in-person segment when there's written apps online? He wanted to do both.
Supposed to be seen. Personally think how this could have been handled better is Kai didn't say it was from 1 to 5 or 1 to 6. So that's one thing. He didn't say when
he didn't say when it would end, so I thought it would never end. I thought he would be out there forever until the entire line is gone. Is that a realistic thing to believe? Am I wrong on this, chat? Is that a realistic thing to believe? Kai's like, we're going to stay here until everybody gets seen.
It was ending. So it's like nobody knew when it was going to end. 2, he didn't say that there was a cap on people like coming into the auditions. Like he didn't say that he was only going to see 100 people or 200 people.
I understand this. I get it, right? Because if he did say only 300 people are going to be there, right? You can get them all in line, have your person like count out people and be like, all right, after this, nobody else is coming on. And when somebody else leaves, you let another person in the line, you know? I do understand that could have been how it was done. But like, you couldn't have possibly believed that he's going to let everybody through.
People or whatever. And again, it wasn't just Kai. Kai had a team
that was also seeing people.
The open casting calls have a time
see
frame or like amount of people that they need. Like that is true, right? But like, I don't know like why you would expect. It's because it is because it comes from like self-centered entitlement, right? They think that they are very special snowflakes. And they're like, yeah, I might have been number 955 in line, but Kai still should have seen me because he didn't say he wouldn't see me. You know, like it is a situation where like you take your L. You're like, oh, I didn't get in. Rats. Shucks. Man, that sucks. And you keep it pushing, you know?
they were good enough to see Kai. Like I said earlier, if you really had to go, your team could have continued seeing people. I think another thing is that this was the New York auditions, the New York City auditions. Kai's from New York City. Kai's from the Bronx. So if anything, if any place should have deserved your utmost attention, it should have been your like where you're from. And like another thing is that like the audition started at 1 p.m. That's how it was marketed. It starts at 1 p.m. So again, as a solution or an alternative to how it was handled, everybody that was there before 1 p.m. should have been let in at 1 p.m. Not to everyone all at once be seen or whatever the case be is, but have there be a lobby, have there be multiple lobbies.
Like, I don't think he understands how many people were there. People were camping out since 6 a.m. and still didn't get in. Like, that is an impossibility. They'll let thousands of people in at one time, right? Do I think it could have been handled better? Yes. Do I think it should have been handled better? Yes. Right? But like, I don't know what the expectation here is. Like, I don't get it. I don't want to see more though, because I am interested in seeing more different people's thoughts. Here. This was 2 hours ago.
Here at Atlanta Streaming University, and it's already about to get shut down. Well, Atlanta, it was nice while it lasted. Hopefully next time we can get it together. Is that a suitcase in the air? Oh, Jesus. They standing on everything. Everybody don't push through the line. They broke all the barricades. So this is so sad.
Why didn't they see everybody, Chad? I have no idea. Bro, it's Atlanta, bro.
I ran into an ATL. They about to shut it down. Hey, I'm
trying to go to school. No shade.
They done broke all the barricades. Oh, the police going in. The police going in. Oh, Jesus. We getting tired. Everybody got to go. The event is canceled.
The event is canceled? It got canceled? It got shut down? Did at an airport? No, this is a convention center. They did it where they're supposed to do it. If this is a convention center, they did it where they were supposed to do it. Right? ATL just don't know how to behave.
Well, here at Atlanta Streaming University.
Bro, this is
I just drove a
This is a humiliation ritual. This is a humiliation ritual.
11 hours to I just drove 11 hours to Atlanta from Texas just for Kai to cancel this shit. Bro, I'm tired of the non-creators ruining everything for the real creators, bro. I've been doing this shit too long to not have this opportunity today.
What? Wait, why does it say 0 followers? 973,000 followers. What is this Twitch? Last live 15 hours ago. It's just kind of crazy entitlement. Am I crazy on this chat?
Hey, bro, y'all niggas really just fucked this shit up for me. So, Kai, I need to come do my application at the crib, A&P crib or something, because
I feel bad for the young people. It's just it more speaks on the state of society. You know, it more speaks to the state of society.
I can't leave Atlanta without getting this shit done or something, my nigga. I just drove 11 hours to
Like,
Atlanta.
this is what happens when you have alienation from your labor in your community. Right? People are searching for some escape to the capitalist system, and like yeah. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Sorry.
And to the people that are upset with all the applicants for Stream University saying, y'all need to go get real jobs and apply to a real university. This is sad. These are grown people, by the way. It draws attention to the fact that nobody supports you when you're in the entertainment industry until you're actually on, because the world stops whenever Hasan does anything. But I'm very sure he had to start somewhere. People have a problem whenever you are trying to break the status quo, because everybody else wants you to go to the 9 to 5 and do what it is that they're doing, X, Y, and Z. But if you don't want that lifestyle, they have a problem with you, and they don't think that
I'm like, this is fine. This is fine, but you can't do that and also be like, Kai Sanat, let me come to the crib, please. Let me come to your house to do my application because I'm super special and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, those are kind of like incongruent ideas. Like, I think that it's true and fair that, like, I think a lot of people are like, you know, clowning on the streaming university people. They deserve it a little bit. But like, are clowning on streaming university people because like they also feel the same alienation from their labor, right? So you have two groups of people who like don't feel like adequately compensated in this current system, and they're yelling at each other about this current system, and like nothing is getting fixed. I think that is true. Kind of just hold auditions perpetually. But like, I don't know.
Or dream is going to work. As someone who came to Los Angeles and got their degree in performing arts, when I first started my college journey, I had people, even family members, say, what are you going to do with that type of degree? I'm going to use it, okay? You don't ask nobody who went to school for nursing what they about to do. Obviously, they finna go to a hospital and apply. Same rules apply. And people who are like, oh, y'all are just trying to be lazy and make money off the internet, X, Y, and Z. That's not lazy, baby. That's smart. The way this economy is going, you should also learn how to monetize your socials, your Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that stuff, because it's
okay. This solidified it for me. People have an unrealistic expectation about how they're going to make content. Completely unrealistic expectation. Most people are not going to make minimum wage off of making content. I have to repeat this again. Most people are not going to make minimum wage off of making content. They're not. Right? It's one thing to chase your dreams, right? It's one thing to try and attempt, right? But it's another to think that like you're entitled to that because of how much work you think you put in. You know what I mean? Like that is what it means to have an unrealistic expectation. You should not be getting into content creation because you think you're going to make money. I'm just telling you this right now. You should not get into content creation because you think you're going to make money. You should do it because you find it enjoyable. You should treat it like any other hobby. The same reason why you should not start painting because you think you're going to become Picasso or something. The same reason because like people out here trying to be in the NBA by just showing up and not being able to dribble a basketball. Yeah. Like, these like folks do not realize that streaming or being a content creator there is no effort or such work that goes into it. It's just also it's slim pickings too. NBA will teach me how. Yeah, the NBA will teach me how. Don't quit your job and then upload your album to Bandcamp. And people have been doing that for years, right? Right, and there's a difference between being delusional and like being delusional. You know what I mean? I think anyone can get monetized, but the pay is not necessarily good, and it can be hard work. No, actually, I disagree with that. Right, on YouTube, right, you can't be monetized unless you have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time or something like that, right? That is difficult to do. On Twitch, you need to have Twitch is easier. You got 3 viewers, I'm pretty sure, for like 2 months over like 12 streams, and then you get affiliate, which means you can be monetized. But you're not making money off of ads, you know? You're not making money off of ads. We're gonna do another topic for this stream. I mean, I covered other stuff this stream as well, right? Maybe, potentially. Sit down and listen. Maybe we'll get to something else. Are you get 3 million shorts views? Yeah, that's also not happening though. Right? My point is that there is an unrealistic expectation, and you should tailor your expectations for what you are attempting to do. And a lot of the people that we saw today are just entitled. Like this.
Man, even though I've been camping for 4 days since Thursday in LA for Stream University auditions, waited in line since 6 a.m., was hella committed, staying here, still got denied from the staff. I didn't even get to get interviewed by Hasan. I would rather get denied in front of Hasan than get stopped and denied from the staff. And that's what makes me sick. I've been here for all the 4 days, bro. I've been here for 4 days, making content, streaming. It's hella discouraging, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm actually sick to my stomach. I'm like, damn. I literally got denied for the first interview. And I said what I had to say, camped, I'm dedicated, I'm hungry. And
I can't tell if he's hungry as in like he's hungry for it, like he's motivated, or if he's hungry as in like he's like legitimate. Chat. This person has 200 followers. Why do these people not use this energy to like actually be consistent? You know what I mean? That's what I don't understand. There's nothing wrong with having 200 followers. I started, chat, streaming when I had 200 followers. Right? But like, you gotta, you why are you not using this effort before like a week ago? You're also cynical. Kyle's gonna see every single one of these videos and comment and invite them. You're right. My bad. Have you considered how good it feels to get pity follows? I had not consider that. You are correct. They see streams as an easy job and an easy way to make money. And they see the big streamer looking around and doing bullshit and making $100,000 a month. They say to themselves, I can do that too. They see Stream University as the easy way in. That's exactly what it is. I'm sure none of them are considering cross-collabing in the lines. Some do, right? I do want to see camping for Streamer University.
5-star meals. It's getting BB.
It's gonna be a long night.
Yes, brother. It's about to be
4 a.m. gonna hit.
That's a challenge.
Breaded shit. It's got 2 more days. Start getting cold.
But like, I also don't understand, like, if you're just camping with other people, why are people watching you? Like, if you're just camping out for Streamer University, what is the appeal? Like, what's the draw? Like, for you specifically, right? Why would they watch you instead of watching like this guy or this guy or this guy, or this guy. You know what I mean? Like, they want to be the next Rakai dude, just blew up overnight from Kai. Yeah, but at the very least, like, I have my issues with Rakai. At the very least, there was a reason behind it, right? Rakai was basically mini Kai, right? It was like Kai's little brother, right? He was energetic, he was bombastic, he was like creating spectacle. Like, I didn't like that kind of content, but I could understand why it appeals to people, because people like to see somebody like get super loud, you know? For sure, Rakai did all these antics to finally get Kai's attention. But like,
5-star meals.
It's getting BB. It's gonna be a long night. I'm telling you, brother. It's about to be 4 a.m. gonna hit. That's
but he went inside. He's not camping. Oh.
That's that.
Alright. Son, Asdirt, thank you. Because Asdirt, don't do too much because we will pick your ass up and take you to the middle of the street. But you my boy though, but you know what I'm saying?
See, like, don't worry, I'm gonna get security.
That's what I'm saying.
In like 2 days.
Security, we got pepper
I'm
spray
gonna
and
get
security.
tomorrow.
We got the same shit security got.
That's gonna be sketchy, gang.
Right? But at the very least, like, I don't want to clown on this because, like, this is what they should be doing, right? This should be the win, right, for you. You met people, you got content, you made connections with other people who assumedly live in the same area, right? This should be the win. Right? This should be the win. It shouldn't be like, Kai didn't see me. I hate this so much. Right? It should be like, this is unfortunate. Right? Maybe next time. But I did meet some cool people. We're gonna go make some streams together. Right? But I guarantee you, for a lot of these people, they're not going to stream anymore after this. And I can say that because people who went last year stopped streaming, or some people who went last year stopped streaming after Streaming University. You know? University is the friends we met along the way. Actually, it is actually the friends we met along the way. I was here. POV waiting to see Kai snap for Streamer U.
I don't need a double. I need a single. Don't double shit.
No, hold on. We need a triple.
Nah, fuck all that. It smells like coffee.
I need that last cup.
I will say there's a lot of type A personalities here, you know? There's a lot of like competing and conflicting people who think that they're the funniest and they're the most deserving of it. And that's also part of the problem. Because it's not about actually trying to build genuine connections. It's like, you know what I mean?
It smells like coffee. I know it does.
Yo! On three! Yo! On three! 1, 2, 3! Batty, shot o'clock! Batty, shot o'clock! Batty, shot o'clock! Batty, yeah, yo.
Hey, wait a fucking minute.
Hey, what was I watching? This is interesting to see, though. This is interesting to see. I am interested in this. I'm glad. College. True. I am intrigued by this, though. This is intriguing.
Hey guys, spend the day with me at the Streamer University auditions. I got there a little late, like around 9-ish. And when I tell you guys the line was so long, it was so long. And then they had the line split up in 2 sections, so they only let about like 10, 12 people in. And then I ended up waiting in the second line, which was to go inside, where they were checking IDs and looking through your bags. But I finally made it to the front of the thing. Ron, Marlon, and Lacey ended up showing up. And while we were waiting in the front, they were only letting about 10 people at a time to actually go inside and sit down. I ended up coming to the auditions by myself, so the whole time I was literally talking to different people, which was so fun, by the way. I finally made it inside.
Oh, she got it inside. Congrats to her.
down, and there they told us that our numbers will be called up when it's time for us to go audition. So instead of just sitting around, I literally went live, talked to people, networked, got a couple of Twitches, Instagrams, TikToks. It was literally so awesome. Shout out to these two twins right here. Like, they literally stuck beside me the whole entire time. You can see people were still waiting for their number to be called. I think around this time they were like on 60 or 70. While I was literally 3 groups away from getting called, that's when he told everybody to go sit down and that they had something for us.
Guys, it is currently 8 p.m. and we're still literally at the audition. Like, they lining chairs up, they got the police out here.
I tried to get through everybody. I wish I could sit all day and see every single person.
They got to see Kai though, at the very least. No, I missed it. Sorry.
Long story short, he basically told us that the campus closes at 9, and past that time, he cannot stay and watch everybody.
Everybody's mad, everybody is fuming. But it's okay, y'all. This not gonna be the stopping point. I'm gonna keep going.
Okay, I like her. She has like a good mentality. You know what I mean? This is better than everybody else that we saw so far who was like, bro, I waited here for like 90 minutes. 90 hours. I slept here. Bro, why didn't he see me? Kai should have seen me specifically. You know what I mean?
In the end, I still had the opportunity to meet such cool, amazing people that do such different content and gain so much knowledge from them. So yeah. Hey guys, spend the day with me.
That's nice. I like that. I like that. See, not everybody's bad here. Right? And it also makes you come across as like less gross and toxic, right? Like, of everybody that we've seen so far, if I were to follow one person, it would be her. You know what I mean? It's like, I wouldn't follow like this person. I wouldn't follow, I don't know who this person is. This person's verified though, so I think he's fine, right? Like this person, because it's just like, or this person, it just feels like, you know what I mean? It's just not, it's not, people like, streamers can tell these things, right? Like, you don't want people to follow you from this just because they hate Kai, because they obviously, with them, exactly. Weird how leading with humility and community is magical. Yeah. Right? And again, I always say this as well. The type of person to act like this is not the type of person who will go very far in the industry. Right? The type of person who acts like this is. That's kind of what you have to keep in mind. Anyway, that's a good video to end it off on. Drama gets views, character gets follows. True. That's a skill you can't teach. If she would have shouted out other channels, she would have blown up more. Hot take. I mean, maybe. I mean, we were watching Charlemagne. You're right. Because it's a lot less fun than watching streaming university drama. I might not be able to watch it today just because I had an issue with my apartment in DC. It's not even like a really, really bad issue, but they got my move-in date wrong. And so they say that I have to move in, or at least I have to start paying rent for 2 weeks earlier than I anticipated moving in originally. And so I have to either get ready to move 2 weeks earlier or do that. But it's what it is. So, I'll ask you this, because I think Chow will have good thoughts on this. So I have 2 options for apartments. One apartment, I'm not gonna say the name of them, obviously. One apartment is 1,000 square feet, basically 2,500. The other apartment is 670 square feet for 2,300. But it's directly on a bus route to campus. And so I probably won't need a parking pass. The other one is off the beaten path a little bit. So I would probably need a parking pass for campus. What amenities? I know the amenities: flooring, neighborhood, I gotta go tell you the neighborhood. But what about bike? I mean, I need to have my car so I can take Nick's to places and stuff. It's fine, but if it's commutable, the first one is not. There is a bus route outside of the neighborhood, but it's not the same bus route that will get me to campus. Bro, this is to the campus between the two. They're the same distance. They're about like I believe like a 10 to 12 minute drive. How do I brought the buses? I don't know. You're not driving in DC. It's not happening. I drove in DC when I visited up there. Does one offer covered parking? Yes. The second one offers covered parking. The first one does not. But the first one has free parking. The second one pays or charges $175 a month for parking. The first one doesn't. It's not covered, but it's free parking. Free parking with a spot? Yes. But I don't understand how nice covered parking is. It's a toss-up. It's a toss-up. The first place also has 300 more square feet for like the same price though. How easy to get in and out? Do you have the key fob or how do they handle lockouts? The second place has a concierge. It's like a hotel style apartment where like you go inside, concierge, elevators take you up to your apartment. The first place is like more like a apartment like complex type of apartment where like there's like a bunch of different buildings. The buildings inside the buildings is like there's like a key fob entry, but then it leads into like a staircase that gets you into apartments. Right? But it's not like a concierge style. Get the apartment that'll impress to DC baddies. That's a good point. That's a good point. Are they priced differently? The first place is slightly more expensive. That's 600 square feet and I'm happy. I want the 1,000 square feet so I can have my stream room again. Or content room, because I might not be streaming. But if I have, because like the first place is 2 bedrooms. 2 bedrooms, 1,000 square feet. For the same price, I get 1 bedroom with 670 square feet. You know? So it is literally a toss-up. Last thing I check is when I run his fiber map. If it doesn't have good internet, I'm out. Can you make a Google sheet of options in both places, please? No, I will not be doing that. Get the concierge. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. For one being 2 bedrooms sold me. I don't know. Internet is important. I agree. It's basically something you miss when you don't have it. Yeah, my apartment here is 700 square feet though. So the second place is about the same as this size apartment, which is a decent amount of space, but I need more space. Me and Nyx cannot live on top of each other. Social games with D&D with more space. I don't really know many people who play D&D in DC. You want to bring a baddie home to a 1 bedroom and they ask, oh, what's that setup about? No, the baddies love my Twitch setup. What do you mean? They're like, oh, you're a Twitch streamer. Did you stand outside of Kai Cenat Streamer University auditions for 7 hours? I only date guys who stood outside of Kai Cenat Streamer University auditions for 7 hours. So, anyway. Both have balconies though, which is nice. What did they talk about Hasan though? I think I only dated one girl who knew who Hasan was, and she like had differing opinions on Hasan. How do you find balconies? Well, I make that one of my non-negotiables. My non-negotiables are this: 1, less than 2,500. 2, a balcony. 3, in-unit washer and dryer. 4, air conditioning. 5, pets. That's it. Those are my non-negotiables. How's the kitchen also worth considering? In that order? No, not in that order. It's fair so much of DC out. Oh, don't tell me. Don't remind me. I know it is. I don't know a place that's extremely pro pet because you get a lot of bad pet owners. Mine is mostly just secured parking. I really hate people knowing if I'm home or not. That's pretty funny. Theoretically, people won't really, know or care that much. I don't know. I don't really care that much about like covered parking or not. I think having a garage is good. It's nice. But like, it's not a non-negotiable for me. Oh, I will say, I'm gonna say this, okay. The second place is directly connected to a delicious food establishment. I will not say which one because I think that's too close to doxing myself. But it is connected to a delicious food establishment. So I can literally walk downstairs and get to the delicious food establishment. The first place is a little bit further away from that stuff. So I'd have to like drive out if I wanted to go get food. Do they serve alcohol? I'm not going to tell you. Is it free parking 2,300? It's 2,500 for the free parking one. Got 2 good options for real. I had 4 options. Some of which I liked better when I visited them, but they also had their own issues. 700 is crazy. It's what I'm paying now. Which one is bigger? The first place is bigger. It's dangerous depending on how unhealthy it is. I will say it is pretty unhealthy. It's pretty unhealthy. Yeah. Oh, I will say the 4th place does have a tenant union. And I know because when I visited, I saw apartment tenant union on some of the doors. They do have an established tenant union at the 4th place. Or bury the lead. I forgot about it until just now. You should cook more yourself and maybe get forks and plates while you're at it. I do cook and I do have forks and plates. Hop off my nutsack. Yeah, I know where it is now. I'm not gonna say. I don't know. I don't know if you do. Are tenants rights in DC? Is it a tenant state? I'd say so. One of the apartments, I think the same place, right? The second place sent me like a tenant's bill of rights when they sent me my offer letter. So like I think it is a decent. I was like, it's not a state. That's right. No, maybe one day it will be. Stay serious. There's probably a stipulation the tenant union probably argued for. So. You're in DC now, so welcome. I'm not in DC yet, technically, per se. My 2-bedroom, 950 apartment in Delaware is more than my current mortgage in other states, man. Do they have trash valet? The first place doesn't. The second place has a trash chute. The first place I would have to take my trash to the dumpster. So, landlord-wise, I don't know. I have issue with both of the places, right? In terms of management. Why DC? School. Right? For those who don't know, my plan is this. I go to DC. I get my master's degree. I take the LSAT. I get into law school. I go to law school. And then I graduate from law school. And then I go get a job. And then after I get my job and I do law, and then I teach when I'm 50 years old. So I do law for 15 to 20 years, and then I teach. What job? I don't know yet. This is true. I am a fake Marxist. I'm getting a degree. Is there a beach? I don't like beaches. Can I get your graduation medal? Maybe. Specific kind of law you want to get into? Labor law. I want to get into labor law. Or like become a civil rights lawyer or something. Work for like the ACLU. Would you ever consider being an immigration attorney? It's not on my list. I just haven't particularly thought about it. I guess I didn't go into law school in DC. It is a consideration that I have. Right. But basically my plan is to take the LSAT in August. Right. See what I get. If I score poorly, I'll take it again in November. And then I will use that score to apply for law schools for 2028. Because I don't know if I don't trust myself to have time to study for the LSAT before I start my master's program. So I want to do it earlier now. Well, I have time to do so. You want to be a civil rights lawyer, you should. That's the idea. That's the plan. You sound super grounded and realistic. Thank you. I do try. Notice I didn't say streaming in that plan, by the way. Just keep that in mind. Notice I didn't say streaming in that plan. I know you're doing law. I thought you were doing politics. I thought about politics. I considered politics. I'm getting my master's degree in political science because I want to be able to teach if I so chose to. Right? Because I want teaching to be my retirement job. Right? And so teaching political science does seem like something that I would like to do for my retirement job. But being a lawyer sounds cool. Just teach on Twitch? I'm not doing that. Good study for me. Bro, the LSATs are so freaking interesting. You know, I'm gonna show you an LSAT question. I find a good question. Here. This is the last thing I'll do before I go. Sample logical reasoning question. Spanish 101 must be true. Most of the students who took Spanish 101 at a university last semester attended every class session. However, I hate this question. I did this question literally yesterday. I don't remember the answer either. Most of the students who took Spanish 101 at university last semester attended every class session. However, each student who received a grade of B lower than a B minus missed at least one class session. Which one of the following statements about the students who took Spanish 101 at the university last semester can be properly inferred from the information above? Either what does that do with law? Literally nothing. Literally nothing. It is about logical reasoning. Either A, at least some of the students who received a grade of A minus or higher attended every class session. B, most if not all of the students who missed at least one class session received a grade of lower than B minus. C, most of the students received a grade of of higher than B minus. D, at least one student who received a grade of B minus or higher missed one or more class sessions. Or E, more than half of the students received a grade of B minus or higher. Always C. It's not C, I don't think. I think it has these type of questions too, and a good chunk of schools value this that section more than other areas of the test. Your question, they dropped out and became UPS drivers. True. True. D. My eyes glazed over in the middle of you reading it. I failed. Oh no, my eyes glazed over while I was reading it too. And this is the entirety of the LSAT. It's B, D. Okay, I see B, D, and C. Let's see. Which of the following statements can be, which of those statements about the students who took Spanish 101 at the university last semester can be properly inferred from the information above? Most, if not all, the students who missed at least one class session received a grade of B or lower, or lower than B minus. But we know, however, each student who received a grade of B minus lower missed at least one class session. Right? C says most of the students who received a grade higher than B minus. That one I don't think is true, because we only know about the students who received a grade of B minus or lower. Right? That's the only thing that we know about as it pertains to who missed class or not. So we don't know about the totality of students who received a grade of higher than a B minus, right? So we're just not sure about that. D is at least one student who received a grade of B minus or higher missed one or more class sessions. I don't know if we can infer that from this passage, right? Because the passage only speaks to whether or not a student who received B minus or lower missed one class, right? We don't know about the students who received B minus or higher. And I don't know if we can infer that from this passage. You know, because D says at least one student who received a grade of B minus or higher missed at least one class. This only speaks to the fact that each student who received a grade of B minus or lower, right, missed at least one class, right? We don't know anything about people who got B minus or higher. Most, if not all, of the students who missed at least one class received a grade of B minus, lower than B minus. I don't know if this is true either, right? Because the last sentence is saying specifically that each student who received a grade of B minus or lower missed one class. There could be students who received a grade of A who also missed one class, and that's not what's being talked about here. You know what I mean? I should know what the answer is. Pull it. That's why I said I hated this question. This is one of the worst. I need pictures. Here, let me cook. Read it one more time. Most students who took Spanish 101 attended every class. Right? However, each student who received a grade of lower than a B minus missed one class. Each student who received a grade of lower than a B minus missed one class. So they could not have been included in the group of people who attended every class. So they could not have been most students. Most students received a grade of B- or higher. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. C. No, it was E. Gosh darn it. It was E. More than half of students received a grade of B- or higher. That's true. That's true. How did I get that from the passage? Because of what I described. It's semantically different, right? It's semantically different. I let chat guide me. Oh, you're right. It doesn't include B-. It's just higher than B-. You're right. It doesn't include B-. See, this is how LSAT gets you. It's how it gets you. No, do one more. One more. Here, you guys would love this one. Last question. You know what? There's also a video explanation.
Test 73, section 2, question 21 says, okay, so which one has to be true? A, at least some of the students who received a grade of A- or higher attended every class session. I don't know why that would have to be true. I don't even know if anybody got an A- or higher. As far as I know, everybody in the class could have got a B-. I just don't know why that would have to be true. I'm looking for something that I know for sure I can prove, okay? And if I have doubt, then that's not the answer. The record has to prove the answer that I'm gonna pick here. Close isn't good enough. B, most, if not all, of the students who missed at least one class session received a grade lower than B-. No, I know that if you got a grade lower than B-, you had to miss at least one class. But it's totally possible that almost everybody just got an A in this class. Even the people who never went could have still got A's, as far as I know. All I know is if you did get less than a B-, then you have to have missed a class. That's not the same thing as saying that if you miss a class, you have to get less than a B-.
Yeah, so in the LSAT video course that I looked at, it's taking a statement and then taking the contrapositive, right? And you could not just like inverse one side of the statement to make it true. And let's see if I can explain this correctly. So essentially, let's just say you have an if-then statement that's like, if, if you're a bird, like if bird, then you can fly, right? So you have like B, then F. What you can't do is you can't say, if you're not a bird, right? We'll say, not a bird, then you can't fly, right? Because there are things that can fly that are not birds, right? So you can't just inverse both statements for it to be correct, right? However, this would be true if you took the contrapositive, which basically means you flip them and inverse both, right? But if it can't fly, right, then it's not a bird. Right? These are not incongruent. These are not congruent statements. They're incongruent. But this statement is effectively the same as this statement. You know, which is also false though. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's also false. This is just how the claim works, right? These claims are congruent even if they are false, right? This is not a congruent claim. Right? This does not follow the same logical reasoning. So just coding conditionals in legal speak? Yes, essentially. Right? So if I made the claim, if you are a bird, right, then you can fly. Right? You can't refute my argument by saying, if you're not a bird, you can't fly. Right? You can only refute my argument by saying this can't fly and it's not a bird. You know what I mean? It's a stupid like logical like reasoning about like what is a good argument to refute an argument, what's not a good argument to refute an argument. Anyway, that's the LSAT basically. Yes, because the initial claim was false, the argument is essentially the same or dependent on each other, right? Something like that. It's just logical fallacies? Yes. So the next question? Sure. Local politics. The question is, what I've learned is you're supposed to always look at the question first. Which of the following is most strongly supported by the editorialist's statement? So looking for something that is supporting the argument. News media rarely covers local politics thoroughly, and local political business is usually conducted secretively. These factors tend to isolate local politicians from their electorates. This has the effect of reducing the chance that any particular act of resident participation will elicit a positive official response, which in turn discourages residents from participation in local politics. So we're looking for a claim that supports the statements that are made here. Particular acts of residents' participation would be likely to elicit a positive response from a local politician if those politicians were less isolated from the electorate. B, local political business should be conducted less secretively because this would avoid and discouraging resident participation in local politics. C, the most important factor influencing a resident's decision as to whether or not to participate in local politics is the chance that the participation will elicit a positive official response. D, more frequent, thorough coverage of politics would reduce at least one source of discouragement from resident participation in local politics. Or E, the resident participation in local politics were not discouraged. If resident participation in local politics were not discouraged, this would cause local politicians to become less isolated from the electorate. Right? So basically, how you're taught to solve this is look for the main conclusion that is being drawn from this statement. So this statement says, news media rarely covers local politics thoroughly, and local political business is usually conducted secretively. These factors tend to isolate local politicians from their electorates. This has the effect of reducing the chance that any particular act of resident participation will elicit a positive official response, which in turn discourages resident participation in local politics. Right? So the main point that is being asked or that is being made is that these factors, which is news media rarely covering local politics thoroughly and local political business being secretive, tends to isolate local politicians from their electorates. And we're looking for a claim that would support that conclusion. Right? So A, particular acts of resident participation would be likely to elicit a positive response from politicians if those politicians were less isolated from the electorate. I can kind of see this, but it doesn't really address the secretness, if you will, of the political business. Local political business should be conducted less secretively because this would avoid discouraging resident participation in local politics. That would address this, right? It would address the local politics being engaged with by the electorate, and it would address the secretiveness of the political business, right? So that does support this claim that's being made here. C, the most important factors influencing a resident's decision as to whether or not to participate in local politics is the chance to participate will elicit a positive response. This is not really supported by the argument or supported by the passage because it never talked about what is the most important factor. D, more frequent, thorough coverage of politics would reduce at least one source of discouragement from residents' participation in local politics. I don't know what to make of that. E, if resident participation in local politics were not discouraged, this would cause local politicians to become less isolated from their electorate. There's just a lot of words, bro. News media rarely covers local politics thoroughly, and local political business is usually conducted secretively. These factors tend to isolate politicians from their electorates. This has the effect of reducing the chance of any particular act of resident participation will elicit a positive official response, which in turn discourages resident participation in local politics. I think this is actually the claim, which is just this discourage residents from participating in local politics. This just supports this claim. So what supports the claim that something will stop residents from feeling discouraged if they feel less isolated? I don't know. I'm feeling D or E. I think E. Gosh darn it, it was D.
Let's dive in. This is Test J, Section 2, Question 22. These facts weren't about what people should or should not do, the top-down, evidence-based question types. D says, more frequent, thorough coverage of local politics would reduce at least one source of discouragement from resident participation in local politics. Notice that it doesn't say that the people would actually participate. Instead, it just says, would reduce one source of discouragement. The facts do say that the lack of coverage causes isolation, which reduces the chances of getting a positive official response, which is a source of discouragement for participation. So, if the coverage were better, then that would tend to reduce one of the sources of discouragement from participation. And I hope you guys can see the difference here, where C is like a little too much.
Okay, get to D already.
Or picking D. E, if resident participation in local politics were not discouraged, this would cause local politicians to be less isolated. That's backward. So E just misinterprets the way the causality works. Isolation causes lack of participation or a discouragement of participation.
Oh, that makes sense. It does. It does do that in the passage. The isolation does cause a discouragement. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Anyway, I can't stand the LSAT. I hope y'all love the LSAT though. Anyway, I'm out, chat. I am leaving. So I can actually focus more on studying for this LSAT, bro. It's like, whatever. Would you believe I got a 159 on the practice test that I took yesterday? Or 2 days ago? I don't remember what it was. I got a 150, I think 153 on my first practice test without doing any study. Is it good? It's above the median. So it's decent, right? My goal is 170. But I'll settle for a 169. It's for, does it pass? It's not really about passing. It's about like getting as high a score as possible. You get into A law school with that? Yes. You get into A law school. So when the Twitch gives AI stream summaries, I don't know. I saw it this morning. I don't know. I saw like, somebody say it this morning. I think it was Zach. I think the SAT for law school, it is the SAT for law school. Anyway, thank you all for being here. Much love. Please drop a subscription. Black is still live solving SAT logic questions with chat, working through interference traps and contrapositive reasoning. Missing the answer by a hair each time. Yo, they could suck my nuts, Twitch. I don't need this from you. What do you mean missing the answer by a hair each time? Twitch, you can suck me. Whatever. I'm leaving. Goodbye. I'm gonna make some spaghetti or something.